Hello, and this is Pro-Mel Podcasts, and I'm here with fellow Pro-Mel collectors, the Shield for Men, Alex Cat, and I'm Mr. Pink and Yellow.
Hello.
So this is episode 1. Hello. Say hello, Alex.
Yeah, I said hello.
All right, okay. So anyway, we're going to do a reply video to Finnish Bolshevik, because he's done a video called "Does Capitalism Oppress Women?" And he goes, yes. And the thing is, we're at the point in the age of the internet that so many things are common knowledge, right? You can't use ignorance as an excuse anymore. If you promote the feminist narrative, it's intentional disinformation, so it's malicious, right? And everyone who does this, especially a male, should be ashamed of themselves because he's operating against his own sex interests or his own class interests as a man, because men are a distinctive class from women. Okay, and men have been begging for equality and for gender roles to be scrapped, and women haven't done it. They've actually expanded gender roles, actually, right? So
The Finnish Bolshevik is just a very dumb person, a typical male feminist and tanky. A lot of tankies are actually tradcons who are against prostitution and things like this. So
Yes.
that means they're attacking men's sexuality, actually.
Yeah.
And so the Finnish Bolshevik is claiming that capitalism oppresses women, actually oppresses men, and that is very obvious. Men do the vast majority of work in the world economy, actually.
Yes.
And no, household work is not the same as working in a factory. Okay.
And it's not household work. I refuse the term work. It's technically work, it's physical activity, but it's not working the same way a job is. Because when a woman's houseworking in a house, a lot of bourgeois women don't even do that. They have servants doing it, right? Or housemaids. Even like upper middle class women can hire housemaids, right? Like, I'm sorry, it's the woman's house, right? When she divorces, she's probably going to get the house. It's her house. So houseworking in your own home that someone else is paying for is not work. It's not comparable. Period.
Right. And
Yeah.
she's living from the husband's wage as well. So it's not unpaid.
Yes. So let's get on with it. We might as well just start and reply to this.
Sure.
This is going to be a lot of replies. Yes.
Yeah, like, does capitalism oppress women? Spoiler
Let me
alert,
start.
no. Yeah.
Capitalism tries to tell us that the oppression of women is something in the past, or something that is basically solved. And many people actually believe
Of course.
False framing. Women were never oppressed, so it's not a problem that had to be solved. So that's false framing from the start. So if capitalists say that, they're feminists as well.
Yeah, women were in control to family unit already back then, like with the tender years doctrine, for example. Okay, so they had access to their children way more than fathers had. So fathers were discriminated against already back then in like the 19th century or even 18th century. And there was also this practice called skimmington in the Middle Ages, for example, where male victims of domestic abuse were publicly shamed, right? So there was like massive abuse against men already structurally.
Yes.
Yes.
this. You can clearly see this in the existence of things like the so-called men's rights movement, incels, and anti-feminism in general. It's surprisingly
Pause. So there's going to be a lot of pausing, but I can't let that stand. So so-called men's rights movement, which is a very disgusting thing to do, right? That's just like, oh, and he just randomly linked them to incels in a non sequitur manner, when incels are not really interested in human rights at all. They're not. Like, I've met one or two incels who are, but they're the extreme outlier. Like, the vast majority of them are just, they're very individualistic and fatalist. They don't believe in structural analysis on a macro level. Okay, so linking into arrays is just a smear.
Yeah, and so he says so-called men's rights movement as if our issues, like men's issues, are not important, like male homelessness, male suicide, the male-only draft. I'm in Germany right now where they have restricted my travel rights as a man. Okay,
Yes.
like this is some disgusting structural injustice.
Yes, structural violence. right? It's reducing the quality of your life and putting you at risk of death. Basically, the war breaks out.
It's the very type of issue that a left winger should concern themselves over, but they're not.
Yeah.
To run into people who outright deny that women suffer any inequality or oppression anymore. Capitalism also co-opts women's emancipation fighters of the.
Yeah, so if women are suffering quote-unquote oppression, it is not because they're women. It is because they live maybe in a third world country and have to suffer like imperialism or something. But men suffer also imperialism.
Also, when there are like cultural practices that restrict women, right? It's often done by other women anyway, like feet binding and female or genital mutilation. It's women on women, right? Because women control their societies as well.
Yeah, and even often arranged marriages are done by women.
Yes.
Like things that people neglect to point out. They leave the context out. Yeah.
Yes.
The past, just like it co-opts national liberation fighters and revolutionaries after their death, and says that, oh yeah, they were great people fighting for good things, but now all those problems have already been basically solved. So they celebrate those figures of the past as symbols of how great capitalism is, how capitalism is able to supposedly solve all of its problems and reform all of its problems. One such example that comes to mind is the Finnish writer and activist Minna Canth, who lived from 1844 to 1897, who wrote many stories and plays about the oppression of women, workers and poor people, and about revolution and socialism.
So
Canth herself...
Pause. So she wrote fiction works about the oppression of women. Okay.
Yes. This Bolshevik understand the concept of fiction. You know, like it's like saying watching gangster movies, saying, look, there's an obvious crime problem. It's systematic, right? So, or it's like watching an alien invasion movies. We're under threat from aliens. It's like, come on, live in reality. This is something we got. This is pathetic. Finnish Bolshevik.
So she wrote a storybook, therefore it's real. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Was a utopian and quite reformist, but sometimes her work is very radical and justifies armed revolution. It also brilliantly criticizes capitalism, and it's a real shame that it hasn't been translated into English. However, capitalist propaganda in Finland...
Yeah.
Shit then. If it was any good, he would be translated. I'm sorry. They're probably just celebrating because she's a woman.
Yes.
So.
Now celebrates her as a harmless figure who criticized evils that existed only in the past. At best, they say, oh yeah, we could still have a couple small reforms here and there, but basically all those issues are now solved. In particular, they stay silent about her discussion of revolution, or label it as some silly ultra-radicalism on her part.
So, armed revolution throughout history was usually done by men. So I doubt that she would be at the forefront of such anti-capitalist revolutions or communist revolutions, even back in the day.
Yes.
No, they get the men to do it, basically. A lot of women in left-wing circles, a lot of communists, they're just like LARPing, right? So you can't take them seriously.
Yes, like armed revolution.
Gloria Steinem LARPed as a anti-imperialist and supporting the Vietnamese, right? But apparently she dated Henry Kissinger. So that shows you how we can trust like female leftists, right?
Like you can't trust most women on what alignment they claim to be because they can just flip-flop and switch at will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The existence of women's oppression in our era is still very real. Around the world, in poor countries especially, which make up the majority of the planet, women suffer from greater poverty than men, are denied basic human rights and political rights.
Pause.
Yes.
Okay. So this is meaningless. This is not gendered data.
No. It's a generic poverty graph. It doesn't say the wealth between men and women. So it's useless.
Yeah, and also here's also something very dishonest that these people do. He said that women suffer greater poverty let's say in poor countries or whatever, this is measured by income, right? So who works actually in those countries or in pretty much every country? The men. And do they pocket their money and let their families starve? No, they provide for their families.
They have to in a lot of these countries. They have to. It's not a choice. It's not a willing choice. They have to legally support their female relatives in a lot of Muslim countries. So this is out of context, meaningless.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't show this consumer spending. Who controls consumer spending decisions? Because that's the female bourgeoisie, male proletariat angle at the core of male and female relations. Women do the consumer spending. Men earn the money.
Yeah.
Right. And also another false thing, he said that women have like less education in even third world countries. That is not true either. In majority of Arab countries, women have more university attendance.
Yes.
Right. And also, especially in the West, this is more true in the West as well. And the other thing is also that other markers or indicators of inequality would be something like mortality data, which is like worse for men around the world, especially in the third world. He doesn't look at that, right? So if women have better health outcomes, life expectancy, life quality outcomes, right, then it doesn't matter that they have like lower income when they're already provided for and maintained. Actually,
yeah. But the thing is, they don't have lower income. I reject the framing of a lower income anyway, because again, it's the marriage is a joint enterprise. It's coverture basically, even when it's not.
Yeah.
Right. The money the man earns is her income. So it's dishonest framing from the start, right? So what they're doing is they're showing the income the man's earning, and there's a housewife who barely works or doesn't work at all. That comparison is not even apples to oranges. It's apples to rocket engines. They're that different. It's not the same thing at all.
Right.
So in the end, you can't prove female oppression just from looking at a poverty graph, and you can't even prove female oppression just from looking at poor countries. Because actually, women are protected even more in the poor countries than men. Yeah.
Yes.
Are denied access to education, are denied adequate legislation that would protect them as mothers, for example, paid maternity leave, laws that would ban firing of women who get pregnant, etc.
Yeah.
So what about paternity leave then? Right? He said maternity leave. He doesn't mention paternity leave. So that's a double standard right there.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, and we've got to point this out as well, the female-male gender role's not the same, right? So the woman, if she does, she's not getting fired in the West, as far as I know, for being pregnant. That's bullshit. And even if she was, it wouldn't be the same as a man getting fired anyway, because she's got a husband or a male partner or welfare. She's got other options that men do not. So it's not the same context. So again, you're making a comparison between men and women. And also, it's just false anyway, because this doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I mean, he mentions that there's a lack of legislation that protects women. From what again? Play that again.
Okay, I'll play a bit again.
For denied access to education, are denied adequate legislation that would protect them as mothers, for example, paid maternity leave, laws that would ban firing of women who get pregnant, etc. Women are much more likely to be victims.
That's just a lie, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, where's the evidence?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, isn't this pleading for like special rights for women, right?
Yes.
When you think about it, so it's special pleading. It's sex-based rights, which is code word for more rights for women. Yeah. So this is feminism is a hate movement because of this.
And sex-based rights, for example, in India, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of women-centric laws, right? A lot of laws that discriminate against men in India and that favor women, right? He doesn't mention any of that.
There's a law in India, like a certain number of members of parliament have to be women now. It's like I think it's a third at minimum now. It's like women get their status.
Women don't deserve that. They don't deserve unearned access. If they don't compete in political field and field of politics, they don't deserve it. They're already privileged as it is. So
Yes.
Yeah, and they also have like laws where they can accuse men of all kinds of things without evidence, and they can throw him behind bars, and even his family, right?
Yeah, they throw the entire family of a man behind bars if he's accused. They even throw
a baby got put in the jail with the family when this happened. So this shows you how evil feminism is. And India is a feminist country because there's a feminist president, Mahatma Gandhi. She did forced sterilization of men in the 70s, right?
Millions.
Don't come to me and tell me that feminism is never violent, you lying pieces of crap, right? Feminism is the most violent political ideology to ever exist, as far as I'm concerned, because the structural violence of feminism is unmeasurable and it's huge.
Yeah, and feminists in India have also successfully vetoed and protested against making the law gender neutral when it comes to sexual violence.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
male victims are not protected because of that.
They don't want to classify male victims by women. Let's specify, because if a man rapes a man, that's still considered rape, right? They're particularly trying to protect women from being prosecuted for rape. So it's when a woman rapes a man, they don't want that to be deemed rape. Okay, that's what they're specifically doing. So yeah.
Yes.
Of sexual violence and human trafficking into sex slavery, etc. Another argument.
Yep.
That citation needed. This is like human trafficking hysteria, and this is weird because this is one thing that white nationalists and communists share in common. So there was like sex trafficking hysteria in like the early 20th century over black men and white women, right? And if a black man crossed state lines with a white woman in a car, he risked being arrested as a sex trafficker, right? And the East Germans in East Germany, they're obsessed with labelling their political enemies sex traffickers, right? They'll call like people engaged in prostitution, right? They'll call them sex traffickers. It's a very hysterical term. It's a misleading term. It's actually a weasel word, because when you think of sex trafficking, you think of kidnapping, big gangs trading women, right? Okay, but they apply that term to like prostitutes, male order brides, or they they straight up make up shit about it that doesn't happen at all, right? All these elite men are engaged in sex trafficking, blah 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 blah. It just doesn't happen.
Also, sex trafficking or human trafficking also doesn't just happen to just women, but also to men, and also a lot of times women are perpetrators.
Yes,
especially in Europe.
I'm generally wondering how common is sex trafficking, because I don't think it happens that much. I think there's far more labor trafficking.
Yeah,
and sex trafficking, far more, magnitudes more.
And labor trafficking, the majority of victims of that are men.
Yes.
That capitalist apologists now turn to is saying that while those problems continue in some poor countries, they are allegedly solved in richer countries. They ignore the fact that poor oppressed nations of Africa, the Middle...
Pause. You see what he's implying? So he said allegedly solved. So is there sex trafficking going on in Britain or fucking USA? What the hell is this guy on about? You see how delusional he is.
Yeah, it's just sex trafficking happening around every corner type of conspiracy thinking.
It's hidden somewhere. It's hidden somewhere. We just can't find it. We've got to look under the sofa or something. I don't know.
Yes.
East, Latin America, and Asia form the majority of the planet. They also ignore that the imperialist super profits that the rich countries rely on are what keeps the oppressed countries poor. They act like capitalism is...
Yes.
In fact, it is something to do with women. It's the female bourgeoisie who get fed by this, right? So go and complain to like female who do luxury spendings and females who practice hypergamy, right? Yeah. Men practice imperialism because they're deselected by default and they need to gain status, to gain intimacy and relationships with women. That's what most men want. Okay, that's the driver of imperialism. And if you're not prepared to admit this, your analysis is absolute garbage and it's worthless, and it's actually counterproductive as well, because you're not going to come up with real solutions. You're just going to go blah blah blah, female oppression, blah blah blah, female oppression. You're not living in reality, finished Bolshevik.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, people in the third world being oppressed by the first world in an imperialist manner is not a gendered problem. Men are also oppressed in the third world by imperialism.
Suffer more.
Yeah.
They die more in the wars.
Yeah, exactly. Even as civilians, not just as combatants.
Yes. Shall we look at hours work gaps graph? Because I
Let's
think it's
do
very
that.
relevant to this.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. So
That one.
let's take a
So,
look.
so what we want you to do, dear viewer, is compare married men and single men, and married women and single women.
So
Right? Don't pay attention to the red circles; they're not relevant. Right. So take your time looking at this. As you can see, in the vast majority of countries, married women work less than single women, and married men work more than single men. So this,
yeah,
see what's happening there?
yes. So
Okay, and women control 80% of consumer spending in most of these countries, right? Okay, so women are the gender bourgeoisie. It's not just a rhetoric, it's not just a play on words, it's a de facto fact. Okay, so what women are, so basically, men don't be sexless and relationshipless. Women condition them to work for them and provide for them, and then they spit in their face and call them oppressors while they do so, and exploiting them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Like, you know, women are working less hours when they get married. Now, you know that's not oppression against them. That's women choosing that.
yes.
Yeah.
Look at how many hours men in America work. The most capitalist country in the world. The most
So
powerful capitalist country in the world. Look at that.
that's literally the most hours of any of the men here, except for
Yes.
Greece.
Yes. Greece has been suffering under neoliberalism as well and austerity. Right?
Yes.
A very
Yes.
trad-con country as well.
Yeah. And speaking of neoliberalism, that has mainly harmed male wages and male workers,
Yes.
and some anti-welfare policies, like in the United States, have
Yes.
harmed disproportionately boys, actually.
Yes.
Yes. So
Look at Austria, which is German speaking. Look at like, married men literally work twice as much as married women. You see that?
Yeah, yeah. So women in marriage, they just lay back and let men do the vast majority of work. But then
Yes.
Marxists claim that women are oppressed under marriage. Okay.
Women
Makes
women
sense.
have privilege. Women have privileged access to the job market and higher education over men as well. So this is not forced on women. This is a choice by women. This is sadism, by the way. It's the same reason. Like this is like bourgeoisie behaviour by women.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, stop making excuses for like why
Well,
the yeah.
they don't even make the excuses. That's the problem. They don't even acknowledge this. It happens. They acknowledge this. They couldn't make excuses for it, so they just don't talk about it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've seen this then, right? Shall we get back
Yeah.
to the
Let's carry on.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Solve these problems when in reality capitalism maintains the poverty of the majority of countries and has elevated only a minority of countries, the imperialist countries, at the cost of the rest of the world. They then use
Yeah,
the
men suffer
imperialist
this also. Men
Yes.
suffer this also.
Yes.
Jesus.
And again, it's women benefiting from this. It's first world women benefiting from this anyway.
Yes.
So
countries as examples, as showpieces, to demonstrate how great capitalism is. The women's oppression suffered by the poor majority of the planet in the so-called third world countries is actually representative of the typical experience of living under capitalism, because those countries
Nope.
are the majority.
Yeah.
It's bare assertion.
So showing India again. These are the Indian women. It's like
The most feminist country in the world.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like India has a very high false accusation rate.
Yeah.
I think it's 50 to 70%. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
High male suicides as well.
Yes.
Much
Yeah.
higher than women. Yes. Like tens of thousands of Indian men kill themselves each year. So
Yeah.
They are the norm. Oftentimes capitalism actually uses this in their propaganda to say that those countries and those people are actually somehow inferior, calling them barbarians and whatnot. Capitalist propaganda.
So pause. So just, if you got any self-awareness, you'd think, the imperialists, they use feminism, right, to stigmatize third world countries and create threat narratives and justify their attacks on it, right? If you had any self-awareness, you'd like come to the conclusion that it's feminism is actually the problem here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So feminists use false threat narratives against all men. You're just upset they're using them against countries in the third world, right?
Yeah. But Bush actually used the women's oppression narrative when he wanted to start war on, I think, Afghanistan, right?
Yes.
Yes. There was the women's oppression narrative to, stop the killing of Gaza because the Palestinians, they're just so full of Sharia law, they stone their women, female oppression. Like,
It's a complete lie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All these liberation wars, liberate women from oppression. That's all comes from the capitalist West. Imperialism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feminist, imperialist. Let's make that clear.
Yes.
The thing is, someone like Finnish Bolshevik would probably argue that, this is not real feminism. That's just like a different form of feminism that is like invalid or something. But they use the same narratives as all kinds of other feminism.
Yeah.
Like they use patriarchy theory and that women are structurally oppressed and things like this.
It's a lie.
So they use the same narratives actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Same narratives as feminism, and it's just the logical conclusions of those narratives. Yeah.
This honestly simply uses whatever tactics are necessary for the given moment. All that being said, the notion that women's oppression only exists in the third world is fundamentally false. All the basic problems women...
Yeah, because women's oppression doesn't really exist anywhere. It's only men are oppressed. Women have got privileges, men have oppression. That's the general worldwide trend. Third world, first world, global south, South Pole, Mars colony, or wherever you want to talk about, women have privilege over men. Period.
Yeah, I mean, the general condition for men is that society and women especially push men to be the worker slaves, right? To do like the most grueling, miserable jobs, the construction and the mining and all like hard labor. Men work the vast majority of overtime, right? Men die of heart disease because of that overtime. The vast majority of heart disease victims from overtime are men globally, okay? And men are also cannon fodder in wars, okay? This is true around the world. So any kind of like oppression claimed by women looks, it's just pales in comparison.
Yes.
Facing capitalism exists in all capitalist countries. Ignorance about it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. This video is basically just an introduction to the topic. I won't be able to go into this at all exhaustively because this is a huge topic. It requires a lot more research and study, but I will give...
It's a topic full of filibuster. That's what I imagine.
You've got so much feminist academia on this subject for the lies of disinformation, yet it still needs more study. Like, it does need study, but it needs study by real scientists that are not feminists, right? If the real study on this subject will just show female privilege, female privilege, female privilege.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then those studies would get suppressed by mainstream feminist academia. Yeah.
I mean, look at the UN, right? The UN is feminist. They have like all kinds of humanitarian initiatives and organizations that specifically focus on women. There were like earthquakes in Haiti, right? And they were giving food coupons only to women, female only food coupons, right? So this is the result of feminism.
Some examples that I think are significant. Of course, I'm also not a woman, so it's possible that I also have some blind spots that I missed, but I'll do my best, so let's get into it.
What pussy.
It's a very submissive. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first example is the pay gap. Right-wing reactionaries actually...
Oh my god! Like the fact he does this with a straight face, right? I can't believe this. Like the fucking pay gap. Get bent, man. Come on.
So
yeah.
Right, shall we look at your community post then, Shield?
Yeah. I mean, the pay gap has been debunked a million times.
Right.
Okay,
So-
only idiots take it seriously, to be honest.
Idiots or malicious actors. We've got to make that clear. Malicious actors. There's malicious. Like feminists know it's not true. The ones in power. So it's malicious. It's misinformation. Like when some women, feminist women, are at war with men because when you like lie over and over again on purpose, that's disinformation, and that's what enemy states do to each other. Right? They pump propaganda, misinformation to the other side if they can to confuse them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the wage gap is basically the claim that the earnings gap between men and women is due to discrimination or oppression. And there's no evidence of this whatsoever.
It's the money earned gap. The money earned gap. It's not the pay gap. It's the money earned gap. That's to be clear because men earn the money because they do different work. They do more of it and they do more dangerous work. The money earned gap. There is no pay gap. There's a money earned gap. Right. In fact, I think the term pay gap should be rejected utterly. It's the money earned gap.
Yes.
It's correct framing.
Yeah. And women at all ages actually do more part-time than men. Also when they don't have children, right? So it cannot be claimed that, it's because they're like mothers or something. No, even when they're single, childless, they do more part-time actually, right? So just scroll down. I've linked like several studies. I think like 10 studies or something that reveal that. So findings reveal men exhibit higher aspirations than women, leadership aspirations, right? So
that's to avoid deselection. Basically, men have states to avoid deselection. Yeah.
Yes.
Women view high-level positions as equally attainable as men do, but less desirable. So women, they don't have this pressure to rise up in status because status doesn't matter. Their own status doesn't matter because society loves women no matter what, right? But it's the men who have to earn status in order to be chosen by women and in order to be respected by society. This is why we see more leadership aspirations from men. Okay. Now, Finnish Bolshevik would probably claim, this is due to like cultural conditioning or something. There's no evidence of this. Okay.
Actually, society's been culturally trying to condition women into working more. Actually, right, pushing men out of the job place and still work less. So that actually disproves that claim. Actually,
correct. So women are less likely than men to apply to high-wage firms with high flexibility requirements, although their hiring chances are similar when they do. Right? So they just choose occupations with lower wages. Okay. Flexible jobs attracted 24% more women and 12% more men than inflexible ones, right? So women want more work-life balance, basically. They want to have more free time, right? They want more flexibility in their jobs. That's why they also work more part-time. The findings suggest that female workers exhibited greater work stress, right? So women, they just more work averse, as it seems. They have more stress when working, apparently. Okay? And like I said, women do more part-time at every age. Earnings gap can be explained by female operators taking fewer hours of overtime and more hours of unpaid time off than male operators, right? So there's like countless of studies. There's also productivity-related factors that can explain differences in earnings, right? There's female caseworkers earn about 8% less per year entirely due to differences in contracted and actual hours worked, right? So it has everything to do with productivity-related issues and working hours and work choices and career choices, okay? And then also when women leave the workforce, when, for example, they're mothers, then they have obviously less experience than men who have continuous experience of working continuously, right? And women actually want the man to work continuously. They place their gender role onto men. They don't want house husbands. Okay.
Yes. house husbands get when men take up the house husband gender role, right? They're far more likely to get divorced, and the women resent them. They're taking the
Correct.
easy option. Yes, there's been articles about this. So,
And even higher education women still want a man who earns more than them. So
yes.
there's countless of evidence for this.
The last two are very important as well. Women aged 45 to 54 who are recently re-entered the workforce after 5 or 10-year break are competing against men who have 20 years of continuous experience. So what I think is, because I know there's like been informal tests done with like people doing female to male applications, CVs, right? And females get more responses. I think women are actually magnitudes more likely to be hired than men, right? For like the same qualification, a woman's more likely to be hired. Okay. So if a man took a 10-year work break, they would ask you, which you shouldn't actually be able to be asked, in my opinion, because it's none of their fucking business. Like, I want to work, I've got the qualifications, but they'll ask the man, oh, what have you been doing these 10 years? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but they won't ask women that because they just want women to work. And the last one, in 147 out of the 150 of the biggest cities in the USA, the median full-time salaries of young women are 8% higher than the guys in their peer group. So there you go. So women in the bourgeoisie, yes, in the bourgeoisie country, in the cities bourgeoisie, the most bourgeoisie areas of the mall are the cities, and women are out earning men in those cities, right? In the USA, in the most powerful capitalist nation in the world, yeah, okay, and the majority of taxes are paid by men. So yeah,
right.
So
Also, there's an interesting survey. Just scroll down to the Forbes thing, right? Okay.
Unpaid labor is nonsense.
Yeah. So 84% of working women told that or said that they want to raise children, and is a financial luxury they aspire to, right? And they resent men who don't earn enough, right? This is what the Forbes survey showed. Okay. So this is why there's a earnings gap, actually. They want to have a male provider and that earns more than them. Okay?
Yes.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
I think we can move on now.
We even linked the Time article here.
But let's forget about it. We don't. It's there. People can look it up if they want.
Fine. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's carry on then.
Treat the pay gap as a myth. They find it very humorous. But all empirical data actually demonstrates that women are poorer than men on average and earn lower wages in various...
No, they don't. That's false context, first of all. Women are starting to out-earn men now anyway, and women control 80% of consumer spending. If the money men earn is handed over to women, that's the women's money. And marriages are joint enterprise. Most of the high status men are married, right? So every high status man that's married, his assets are joint with the woman's. So this is out of context, misleading data. That's basically lies. It's disinformation.
Also, you mentioned earlier that men pay the vast majority of taxes, which is true. Yes. And guess where those taxes are going?
Women.
They're going to programs that mainly benefit women, actually. Health funding, for example.
Yeah. And not just that, most of the government jobs go to women women now as well. I'm not even going to look up data. I'm not saying I'm not going to look up data. You don't even need to look up data to realise this. Just like some life experience with the local councils. It's mostly women, right, getting hired. With some men, but it's mostly women. Like men are being pushed out of the workplace. So we're being forced to work more, or we won't get families, right? We won't get intimacy, and when we do, right, after having to jump the hurdles of like having affirmative action that favours women and pushing men out of the workplace, that men survive that hurdle, they're paying taxes to give women more stuff as well. When you think about it, so it's an attack on men from all angles. It's so unfair. It's unbelievably unfair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this lower income, women are lower income or something. They totally ignore that women are more recipients of all kinds of welfare programs, government welfare programs that are paid for by the male taxpayer, ultimately. So this is just misleading nonsense that Finnish Bolshevik is spouting.
Yes.
ways. It used to be the case in practically all countries that women were paid less than men for the same exact job. I've talked about the
No, it's not the same exact job. There's no evidence that this is the same exact job.
Women weren't working down mines. The Victorians passed laws that protected women from working in mines, but not boys. So a 10-year-old boy could work down the mine, but they stopped women from working down the mines because they were too dangerous. That was the only motive they had that law, right?
And that's a context that gets left out.
Removed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And also another thing that I want to add is apparently women also ask less for raises in wages. Right? That's also factors into that as well. So there's like countless of factors that factor into earnings differentials, right? But he claims it's for the exact same work. This is total nonsense.
Yes. The gender aristocracy are not as pressured as men to compete. So
reason for that, in a video in my economics series, I will link it in the description. I'll probably talk about this more in a sequel to this video where I talk more about the theoretical aspects. But here I'm not going to.
So I'm not sure how many subs he's got now, because this is quite an old video. I think it's about 6 years old. So he had like 7,000 subscribers, and he's only got 2.7k views. But for our size and for how we're nerfed, we actually do much better than he does, proportionally.
Yes.
When you think about it, view-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Like you get lots of videos that get 1,000 views constantly, and you've got about 1,000 subscribers, haven't you?
Shield.
Yeah. For like 10 videos, I get like 1,000 views at least on average or something.
Yes. All right, let's carry on.
Go into exactly why that was, but it was the case. To some extent, this still continues, and it should be expected because the dynamic that caused it is still continuing.
I mean, pause on that.
Can you finish? Can you finish? Because he was about to explain what the dynamic was that caused it. I want to hear what he has to say, then we can pause it.
Okay.
And it should be expected because the dynamic that caused it is still continuing. However,
he doesn't explain what the dynamic is. Is it some like vague conspiracy or something somewhere, or is it some magical force? What's the phenomenon causing this? He doesn't explain it, does he?
No.
Yeah.
Reasons why women earn less money than men are that, one, those industries and branches of the economy which predominantly employ women are lower paid. So-called women's
because women push men out of all the easy jobs, right? And they do this. Men are pushed out of childcare and teaching by women, right? There's been articles about this. Also, female jobs are less stressful than male jobs, so that it's lower paying. Okay,
and also less risky.
Less risky. Men, like 95% of work deaths are male, right? I'm sorry, the fact that this is not screamed from the rooftop shows you how little empathy society has for men. This is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and again, these women can shack up with a man and take all his income and be provided for. And if she doesn't want to, she'll have privileged access to the job market and probably get paid more for the same work anyway. So this like pay gap stuff is complete fucking nonsense. Women have different work habits. Periods. That's the sole explanation. There's no other explanation. Any other, even if you try to infer there's any other explanation, is a conspiracy theory. Yeah. Periods.
How many men would love to take an occupation that pays less if it meant just protection from stress, from work death, if they still got to have a family life, you know?
Yes.
As all that is left out.
Yes.
Jobs are simply paid lower wages. So it's not that a woman gets a smaller wage for doing the same job as a man. Instead, it's that the whole branch mostly just employs women. The whole branch is.
Yeah, but again, we've explained the reasons for this, so you're not making a point.
Yeah.
Right.
Women take over those branches and push men out.
Yes.
Low paid. Historically and even today, these are things like textile workers, school lunch ladies, and typically all kinds.
School lunch ladies, yes, the most important sector of the economy. Like Jesus,
It's not even a job, really.
It's a part-time fucking occupation. Like you just like serve some school lunches, probably do a bit of cooking, spend a bit of time gossiping, and go fucking home. Like Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Of catering and
Clown.
industrial food production, nursing and childcare.
Women are pushed men out of nursing. There's affirmative action for women in the medical field. Right, men are pushed out of nursing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing is, I do think nursing is actually an important job, to be honest. I'll give credit where credit's due. But again, what are you comparing nursing to? So, yeah.
And male nurses are discriminated against. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Men working in the same field as men still usually work the lower paid positions and don't rise to the higher paid positions as much.
Bullshit. Women are taking over middle management and CEO positions, and all positions have been taken over by women. Like you can see all these games companies where they're hiring like just women. Like Marvel Comics, I've seen like the editorial board of Marvel Comics. It's all women. It's women taking over this. This is just pure gaslighting, right here. We can see this with our own eyes.
And even if this is true, this is due to women's choices. There's no evidence that they're like pushed away from higher positions. Like I've shown before with the studies, they have lower leadership aspirations than men do.
The thing is, they got these lower aspirations and they still take over the leadership positions because it just gets handed to them. And there's like whisper networks in many industries where women take over, like in comics.
Also,
so there's other whisper networks out there as well.
You got to explain what the leadership position is. What the leader position is, it's a managerial position that men take. Yes, they take on a lot of stress. Like if the company goes bust, they're responsible. And
well, I won't even say that. I won't even use the stress aspect of it because the women are taking over anyway. I don't think it is stressful to be actually. I think the more stressful job is actually the lower positions, in my opinion. So it's just because the thing is, again, the framing is women are taking over the managerial positions anyway, right? Yeah. And when they do, they bring feminism in and they push men out. It's been proven that women have got a hiring bias for other women. And it leads to a positive feedback of like women hiring even more women and men getting pushed out even more out the field, right? So he's playing a victim of other women where women are fucking men over in the workplace. That's the real context of what's going on. Yeah.
By women having to devote more time to taking care of children and the household, women being discouraged from pursuing careers.
Pause. Women are not discouraged from careers. They've got affirmative action. Lies. Women are not breeding at replacement rates in the first world anyways, right? Plenty of women go childless by their own choices. So you're not even making a point, right? Women gatekeep the child rearing role, right? Women choose to become single mothers and push men away, right? Okay, finish Bolshevik. Yeah. So what point are you making here? Like what? Like if women really wanted to, they could have an equal relationship with a man where they both do the same amount of child rearing and the same amount of work and pool resources together. But women don't want this, as has already been proven. Women want a provider while they do not work. That's what they want. They want to be the gender bourgeoisie. Okay, so this is just horse shit.
And even dual earner households, it's usually that the woman works part-time and the man works full-time. And
I know anecdotally as well that there's some of that the man provides the household and her part-time job is just for herself. That happens a lot. So the money goes to her, she earns the money for herself, the man earns her and him, pay for the household expenses. That's what happens. So again, women control 80% of the consumer spending. Men do most of the work. In some countries, men do almost twice as much work as women. Married men do twice as much work as married women, yet women do 80% of consumer spending. Again, married men do twice as much work as married women, yet women do 80% of consumer spending. What? Okay, that should be that's the main core of the issue right there. This pisses me off thinking about it.
That is like the relationship between the capitalist owners and the working class to get exploited. Yeah, it's just the female capitalists exploiting the male workers right there. Yes. That's the marriage.
But this is an intimate relationship. They form families with them and have intimate relationships, and they still exploit them and screw them over. It's evil. It's actually worse than the capitalists. when you think about it.
Yes, it's just more
Yeah,
treacherous. Yeah.
And even when the relationship ends, it's not even over there. There's like alimony and child support, so the man is still enslaved, basically.
Actually, in the UK now, they're giving girlfriends the same right spouses. A woman lives with you, right? That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
That is insane. That's just stripping more life choices from it. Men have a right to have a girlfriend without being penalised over it. That's just like raping life choices away from men. And I use the term rape with deliberately, right?
Yes, it's absolute control over men's choices. It's slavery. Yes.
Yes.
And being discouraged from getting the required education. Of course, in the past,
fuck off. Being discouraged from getting the required education. There's fucking affirmative action. Women outnumber men in universities. In some countries, like 75%. Like, what the fuck are you on about? There's like Title IX in the USA. Like, women just push men out of universities with accusations. Feminists have taken over universities. What the fuck are you on about? You pathological lying gaslighter. You're gaslighting. You know this is not true. You're a pathological liar, Finnish Bolshevik. How dare you? How dare you lie to me like this? I take this personally. You treat me like I'm a mug. Sorry, that just gets me angry.
The discrimination already starts at elementary school, like female teachers down marking boys at school for the same that girls do. So girls dominate, women and girls dominate in education. What is he on about?
It's just, Finnish Bolshevik is just, he's betraying the male underclass, the male proletariat.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of right wingers, and they say, "Oh, the white people were oppressed," blah blah blah, and they'll just like randomly point out something that doesn't happen, right? Also, the police they don't arrest brown skinned immigrants who commit crimes and let them go free, right, and stuff like that. So like, dude, you're just making that nonsense up. Like evidence shows that like immigrants and brown skinned people are actually police more than white people. What the hell are you on about? It just reminds me of that narrative. Like these feminists are literally making shit up out of thin air. Fake oppression, like what not white nationalists do. Bloody hell.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's not a joke because this actually influences social policy. These false narratives get repeated over and over again, and the government takes action over them, even though it doesn't fucking happen. So men get even more oppressed. This is structural violence against men.
Yes.
So were laws banning women from these positions, but even though such laws no longer.
When was this? It didn't happen, right? So I don't care. It didn't happen.
Only
so
time.
There's been evidence. There's like women property owners and women buying stocks and trading in like the 17th and 16th century. Like, what the fuck are you on about?
Yes.
What the fuck are you on about, Finnish Bolshevik?
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
There was even fucking female blacksmiths in the medieval era. What the fuck are you on about, Finnish Bolshevik? What the fuck are you on about?
And then there are still all these automatic economic factors. And 3, women often work less hours because they have to devote more hours to unpaid housework. So in a situation where...
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Single men with jobs do the housework as well, right? It's not that fucking hard, okay? And it's not an economic necessity because, first of all, you can live in a messy house if you want, right? It's an optional action to have it tidy. It's good to have it tidy, but men in general do housework and work jobs, and married men do housework as well. So what the fuck are you on about? Bullshit.
Yeah, but he's going to claim that women do more household labor, quote unquote labor, which first of all isn't accurately measured. Actually, a lot of this is actually self-reported and comes from like diaries, and it doesn't include actually maintenance and moving furniture, building furniture, etc. Right? Repairing fences. A lot of stuff that men do doesn't actually get counted in those data. But regardless, those women are not unpaid. Again, they are provided for by their husband's wage. That's number one. Number two, these women want that arrangement, like we said before.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah. So this is just Yeah, and even single and childless women work more part-time than men. Women work more part-time and lower hours, regardless of whether or not they have a child or not. So you cannot blame this on unpaid care work.
Yeah.
Again, you're not comparing apples to apples, right? Finnish Bolshevik going, oh, men and women, they live in under different. Society treats them differently. They're living in different contexts, right? So a woman doing more housework is not equivalent to a man working himself to an early grave and dying from stress. I'm sorry. There's actually lots of men who work 2 jobs to keep their wives and to avoid divorce. Okay, which is pure sadism because the wife knows she's doing it to him. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's carry on.
Yeah, I mean, Shield, you wrote a session, unpaid labour is nonsense, in your post. Do we want to read that or just continue the video?
Let's just continue.
No, I just posted my own video on unpaid labor.
All right.
Yes.
Let's say that the man works overtime and the woman goes home to do housework. They're actually both working overtime. It's just that the women's overtime is not paid. It's not compensated.
Oh, fuck off.
Bullshit.
Again, single men with jobs do housework. What the fuck are you on about? You muppet.
All these factors.
Yes.
Also, this arrangement, like both do overtime and then she alone carries the load of the household chores. This is, first of all, such arrangements are extremely rare if they exist at all. Actually, it's usually that the man does overtime and she gets to do at the very most a part-time job or a mini job, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, she's not unpaid. She is maintained by the husband's wage for the third time now. So and also a lot of household chores are actually automated now. Like the washing machine, the dishwasher, you just have to press a button. Like this is not that big of a deal.
Doing the dishes takes for like a few minutes at most. Okay, you can sweep, you can hoover your rooms, you can hoover your entire house in like 20 minutes. Okay, like Alex's mum, she does a lot of gardening, right? Okay, that's a hobby. Right? That's not even a house. Doesn't need to be done. It's a hobby. She does it for fun. So a lot of stuff that women do is like that. They just do it for fun, to relax. They enjoy it. So yeah.
Result in women earning less. When confronted with this reality, reactionary propaganda tries to spin it and claims that this is simply proof of the inferiority of women, or proof that even if not in.
No, that's a disgusting straw man. I've never ever seen some writer saying women doing more housework is proof of inferiority of women. They don't even imply that. They say it's natural and they worship female housework as important, even though it's not, because trans are delusional and desperate, right? They praise the women for it and say it's natural, right? And actually, some trans even say this is why women are superior. And it's a man's role to work for her and keep her happy, while she does the vital housework and child rearing. And the woman is actually more important. That's actually what a lot of right wingers say. So this guy's just outright lying, like a lot of Marxists do. Yes.
Superior than women are at least somehow inherently, utterly different from men, that they are quote-unquote naturally or quote-unquote biologically not career-oriented like men, so on and so forth. This gets into the reactionary...
Yeah. Okay, pause. This is the nature versus nurture argument, which is a false dichotomy, and it's not worth arguing, really. Okay, but there is definitely social pressures on men to work more hours because women deselect lower status men due to female hypergamy. Okay, so it's women conditioning men to be like this, right? So women condition men to be like this, and when the outcomes happen, men get victim blamed, and it's proof of male oppression. It's really infuriating, actually. This is pure grade A gaslighting.
Yes.
The theory that female nature is totally different from men, that women are inherently subservient, oriented towards household work, etc.
No. No one says the women are subservient, apart from a few fringe nutcase tradcons. That's 1 in 100,000 or whatever, right? No one ever says this. So this is another straw man. Okay?
There's not a shred of truth.
Yes.
And also there are some evolved sex differences as well, which he's just totally not taking into account, right? Like, and we have actually seen that in more so-called gender egalitarian countries, there are actually greater sex differences.
Yes.
There's like countless of studies on this.
Women in the third world work more because of poverty, and when they're free from that poverty, they work less, and they still make men work for them, basically.
Right. And also, for example, when it comes to occupational choice, men and women seem to have different interests, like on average. I'm not saying like every single woman versus every single man, but like there are studies that show, and I've posted them in my community post, that different interests between boys and girls already develop in childhood, right?
Yes.
So boys being more things orientated and girls being more people orientated, that starts already in childhood.
Yes.
So
can I just say something as well? It's like these people don't have any childhood memories or self-awareness. I remember things when I was a child, and if you think, like, I can remember when I was 2, that's my earliest memories, right? And 3. Okay. The things I liked, I just liked them, right? I gravitated towards them, right? No one maybe, like when I saw He-Man, I wasn't socially conditioned to like He-Man. There was like TV channels I could choose to watch the girl stuff or the boy stuff. I watched He-Man by choice, right?
Yeah.
It's in, and the capitalist people who make the TV shows knows what appeals to men and women. It's not socially conditioned. This social conditioning, blank state theory nonsense is just a fucking embarrassment. You should be embarrassed that you're promoting this stuff, Finnish Bolshevik. Embarrassed.
Yeah, isn't Marxism supposed to be scientific? So why are you ignoring Darwin?
It's like when it comes to women, the subject of women, the IQ of Marxists drops by 50. It's like it's like that.
Yeah, but bottom line is there's a lot of evidence of evolved sex differences. Now we don't want to like overstate, like they're like we're not saying they're radically different, but they're definitely different tendencies between males and females, also in not just strength differences, but also psychological and personality difference.
Women are more controlling and socially dominant than men. Men are, especially in regards to the relationships with women, men are actually more submissive, right? And so it's women. It's actually women in charge of the family unit. So anyone with half a brain knows this. We've got any self-awareness as a human being, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like we have the experiences of our childhood that show boys and girls are different, and then we take an ideology and we just dump our experience out the window. It's like brainwashing.
Yes. It's malicious disinformation. It's done on purpose because Finnish Bolshevik knows this is bullshit. He's pandering to feminists because he wants these Marxism to be mainstream. So he's a sellout, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Theory, but I will have to discuss it in greater detail at a different time. Of course, it's blatantly evident, and everybody really knows this, if we're being real. Like, everybody understands that women actually can do all the jobs that men do, and vice versa.
No,
but
they
reactionary
can't.
propaganda...
No, they can't. Pause. You're a pathological liar. Okay, women can't do firefighting like men do because they're just not strong enough. Okay, so I'm 5'8". I'm 150 pounds. I don't consider myself particularly strong, right? I beat a female bodybuilder who did local competitive competitions in bodybuilding in an arm wrestling contest, and she was like much more muscly than me as well. She looked like an Amazon, right? Okay, and I beat her in an arm wrestling contest. Okay, so I consider myself a below average male when it comes to strength. Okay, men are a lot stronger than women, right? You need strong men to fire carry people out. You need strong, burly men to do that. Women can't do all the jobs that men can. That's just a pathological lie. It's malicious, disgusting gaslighting. That women can do a lot of the jobs. There's a lot of them they can't do. They can do, but there's a lot they can't do either. Period.
Alex, can you go to my community post on sex differences?
Yes,
I posted some studies there.
Yes, so let's find it.
I think there's a soccer team of like young adolescent boys. They outperform like the female amateurs. They outperform like the female soccer teams.
Go to the third link.
All right, so
To the,
I'll click on
this
it.
one.
Then.
Yeah, click on it and just let's just read the abstract of that.
Yes. So
beyond means score sex differences in literacy, numeracy, and problem solving as entrained individual strength across age groups. Just scroll down a little bit.
Let's look for the abstract. It's here.
Right. So so wait, scroll down to the sex differences. So it's a large study from 30 countries to assess sex differences in literacy. No, not that. Wait.
Okay, where am I scrolling? You're going to have to guide me here.
Okay. Sex differences in literacy, numeracy, and problem solving. Consistent with previous research. Scroll down a bit.
All right.
A bit.
Yes.
Women outperform men in literacy, while men outperform women in numeracy. These patterns were observed universally across countries and age groups. Okay? So across cultures and age groups, there are differences in women performing better when it comes to reading and men performing better when it comes to anything to do with math and numbers. Okay? Yes. So this is not cultural conditioning. This seems to be innate, actually.
Yes.
On some level.
Yes.
Right? There's countless of other studies. So...
All right. Shall we go back?
Yeah.
So, back to the video then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
More relies on hints and trying to imply that this is not the case. Or they say that if there's a female revolutionary, a female soldier, a female industrial worker, and there's a male kitchen worker at a school, or a male nurse or something, they just say that those are rare, exceptional people, and that there's perhaps even something wrong with them. Is capitalism a...
Like,
he loves straw manning a lot, right? I've noticed. Right, women don't get. A woman does a man's job. She doesn't get. They don't say, "Oh, there's something wrong with her." She gets praise, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? What the fuck is on about? Like,
and
what planet
also,
is capital? Sorry, I'll let you go ahead. Yeah.
And also, like the industrial worker being mostly men, that is due to women not wanting to do that job and letting men do that job and pushing men into these dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, like when women join like the factory or the military, and you have like a male kitchen worker, you know, the men get humiliated. That's the thing. Like the men get humiliated.
He'll be deselected for romance by the woman factory worker, right? That's what would happen. So he wouldn't go for that job just for that reason alone. He would only go for that job if he had nothing else and he was desperate, right? And even if it was on offer. That's the context of what's going on there.
Yes.
To solve this issue of the wage differences of the pay gap. While wages...
There's no pay gap.
Nope.
There's a money earned gap. I'm just saying there's no pay gap, there's a money earned gap. Sorry, I'm just correcting British Bolshevik. Carry on, sorry.
Historically and do change, and there's all kinds of things that influence it. Capitalism has absolutely zero incentive to raise the wages of women, unless women themselves fight for it against capitalist interests.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
So women's wages actually have risen, at least since the 70s and 80s. You know whose wages have actually declined and stagnated? Men's wages, since neoliberalism and union busting and union decline. So these neoliberal capitalist policies have harmed men in particular.
Yes.
So
liberal capitalism is feminism.
So very suspicious.
And feminism is neoliberal capitalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
They destroyed male workers' ability to unite and bargain for better quality of life, but they protect the women. That just seems to happen, right? It's like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he says that capitalism has no interest in raising women's wages. Meanwhile, childless single women already out-earn childless single men. by 8%, right? 8% higher wages. And also in the most capitalist countries, there are more women in universities having careers ahead of them. So what is he talking about? Capitalism prevents women from getting higher wages. It prevents men from getting higher wages.
Yes.
Like, why would they fix it? If women's wages are lower, why would the capitalists raise the wages? They have no interest in doing it.
Question.
A much more likely occurrence would be that men's wages fall, and then you would have a situation where they're at the same level. But it wouldn't be, because the capitalists want to improve the wages of the women. But even if that happened, like,
so his claim is the opposite. Reality is the opposite of what he claims right there. In other words.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's unlikely that this situation will ever be fixed in capitalism, because capitalism relies on the unpaid housework of women, which is a big cause of this.
Complete nonsense.
Yes.
So again, it's not unpaid, you fucking dipshit. Women who are housewives live from the husband's wage. So, and like, okay, capitalism. So capitalism relies on men's labor first and foremost. So, yeah.
So it's entirely integral to the system. It's not something that they can just reform or fix. Then let's talk about housework. In all countries, even the rich imperialist ones, women still perform most of the housework. According to Lenin,
Wow.
quote,
Wow, the washing machine. Wow, putting clothes in the washing machine is so fucking difficult.
Oh man.
Wow. Jesus. It's a fucking clown show.
That photo, photo belongs in the dictionary to explain slavery. That well-dressed, clean, pampered woman is a real slave.
Yes.
Wow.
Petty housework crushes, strangles, stultifies, and degrades her, chains her to the kitchen and the nursery, and she wastes her labor on barbarously.
So just because Lenin said something, that must be true then.
Yeah.
Well, Lenin was a mangina then.
I mean, yes, Lenin blamed the Western capitalists for like chaining women up, stopping women from falling for their true love, which was the average working man. It's like,
also look at this contradiction here. The quote says she wastes her labor on barbarous, unproductive drudgery. So didn't he just say 1 minute ago that unpaid household chores are very integral to the capitalist system? But now he shows the Lenin quote where it says it's unproductive. So
if people don't hoover their rooms, the capitalist is not going to crumble. Right, you know what I mean? The dusting doesn't get done. It's not going to what the. You have to be there's some sort of pathological disorder with these Marxists. I'm sorry.
God, it's like, you want to burn down the capitalist system? Stop cleaning your room, everyone.
I mean, they obviously also mean like stuff like childcare and things like this, but.
That's not work though. I'm sorry. I think I don't like.
Also, children are most of the time in school or at daycare, right?
Well, the thing is, if you want to call child rearing work, women don't particularly do it well. Like single fathers outperform single mothers by a huge margin. So yes, so I don't think Finnish Bolshevik actually wants to go there. He wants to be objective about it, right? Because it doesn't make women look good.
Yeah. And again, it cannot be called oppression because women take on this role. They prefer it. There's countless of polls and surveys showing this. And house husbands get rejected by women. So it's women choosing this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unproductive, petty, nerve-wracking, stultifying, and crushing drudgery, unquote.
Right.
Now, of course, women nowadays have more appliances than in the past, and they don't have to spend as much time as before doing things like carrying water from a well, because we now have running water, or carrying firewood.
Men never did that, right? Men never do these kinds of things. Carrying water from a well.
So while she's carrying water from a well, these women, what's the man doing? He's out somewhere working. It's division of labour, you fucking muppet.
Yes. Probably even more brutal work for African men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see that I just find that removal of context annoying because it's so dishonest.
Yeah,
It's just dishonesty. This is not stupidity. This is dishonesty.
He's making it seem like the man, while the woman is carrying the water, the man is just playing video games or something.
Yes,
he's fapping over like VTubers and playing video games and eating Doritos.
Yes.
Like,
It's just such a disgusting image because this is like what we're shown in the West. The story of the African women who carry water on their heads. We don't hear the story of the African men. Could be fighting and dying in wars at the same time.
Working in mines.
Yes.
Or working in mines or doing agricultural work or whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
Etc. Because we now have electrical power and central heating and whatnot. But the basic nature of housework still remains the same. As Lenin says, it's petty production.
Housework is like magnitude times more easy, but the basic same. You can literally do housework in 10 minutes. Really, you can. I'm sorry. Unless you like, if you live in a big mansion, you're gonna be hiring fucking servants anyway. Housework done in minutes. I'm sorry. You can get away with hoovering once a month, never mind once a week. Hoover once a week, right? Like when I do my laundry, I just throw the clothes in. It takes 1 minute. Pull them out, throw them in the tumble dryer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm not turning the washing machine with a handle. Right, it does it automatically, and the tumble dryers are automatic as well. Okay, right. What is housework? What is it really? It's doing the laundry, doing the dishes, and doing cooking. That's it. Am I missing anything?
Not really. No. Watching TV.
So, cooking, yes. All right. Cooking. Let's tackle cooking. Okay. So unless you're ordering takeout, when you cook, right, you have to cook for yourself anyway, right? So cooking for yourself is no harder than cooking for 2 or 3 or 4. It's the same. You put stuff in the oven, you just put slightly more stuff in the oven, right? And you put something in a pot and you boil it or whatever, whatever it boils, right? Okay. And if you want to be really lazy, you can just shove something in the fucking microwave.
Yeah, or in an air fryer.
Yes. Okay. So you're trying to tell me dusting, hoovering, doing the laundry, maybe wiping the windows once in a while, right? Okay. Doing the cooking. You're saying that that's real work comparable to a job. Like, come on, what planet are you living on? The fact they try to pull this shit on us. Do you think do they think we're stupid or something?
I mean, yeah, and even taking care of your own kids, that is actually not work. That is actually joy. Like you spend time with your own kids, your own family. That is not work.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, can you like you got cats, Alex, right? You look after your cats. You really like looking after it. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes of course that's not really work, is it?
No. They're cute.
Right.
You love having them around.
Yes, exactly. That's unpaid labour. You're being oppressed. So your cats are oppressing you. Yes.
I know. So, yeah.
Meaning that it's small-scale production, mainly by hand, instead of being the opposite, which would be...
Small-scale production? What? He's calling housework small-scale production. That's an abuse of the word production right there. That is they're not spinsters, right? They're not weaving stuff, right? Bloody hell. The delusion, man. How many minutes? I think we're 8 minutes in. Jesus. Bloody hell. This is so packed.
Nearly 10 minutes. And this is half an hour long. Yeah.
Look what it says there on screen. The only work you don't get wages for. As if they are not paid for by their husbands.
But again, it's their own personal property. It's self-care, right? It's like saying brushing your teeth is unpaid labour, right? Like, gee, no one's paying for brushing my teeth. Like, what the? Okay, fine. If you want to live in a shitty house as a woman, live in a shitty house and do housework, right?
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Yes.
Large-scale mechanized social labor. Instead, it's private labor, mainly non-mechanized and small-scale. So women do laundry, wash dishes, cook, clean individually by hand. Even if you have a washing machine, like you still gotta do it yourself, and the rest of the process is not
Oh,
mechanized.
go fuck off. Just fuck off with this. This is driving me nuts. Trying to compare.
So,
My God. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is. I don't know what to say to this. It's like doing the dishes, doing the laundry. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You should be embarrassed by yourself. You should be. You got to know this is bullshit, Finnish Bolshevik. You got to know this is bullshit. You should be embarrassed. Oh, sorry. Let's carry on. I'm
way.
sorry.
And all this housework, it's done without pay, and it takes a lot of extra time and energy. It is also
No,
predominantly
it doesn't.
women.
like, nothing.
Yeah, the next time I make myself a sandwich, I want to get paid.
Yes.
It's like the tyranny that only a child could complain about, having to make your own sandwich. It's like, this is how entitled this complaint is.
And look, they were actually protesting. This is like footage of women protesting over this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not funny though. I don't find it funny. I find it makes me fucking angry to do this gaslighting.
Yeah, it's like,
Fucking psychopathic. Even like the thing is, the capitalists actually don't argue that they're oppressed, right? They argue that they deserve to have a bigger share of society because they earned it, right? Which is dishonest. These feminists, they're privileged, like the capitalist class, these women, yet they still say they're oppressed. It's like it's the nerve of this gaslighting. No other political movement's this dishonest. No
Yeah.
other.
no.
Who take care of children. In some imperialist countries, some families get their children into public daycare, which helps, but daycare institutions are often far from work or far from home. So it still takes a lot of time to get there. In socialism, housework would be mechanized.
So the father is working more hours than the woman, right? So she just has to drop her kids off to daycare. Like, what point are you making? She's working part time any time. Like, get fucked.
Formed by
Get
society
fucked.
Yeah.
as much as possible. So laundry, it can be done wholly or, especially at first, most likely partly by industrial laundries who would collect your laundry from your home. So let's say you just put it into a large bag with your name on it and they do the laundry and bring it back. Cleaning can be done by cleaning professionals who actually earn a wage. Children can be cared for in nurseries and later in daycare, which would both be adjacent to workplaces and homes. And people can eat more in public establishments or have food delivered to them. So cooking for the
So
family.
what point is he making
Yeah.
here? This is weird. It's like,
No,
all this should be done by the state. Like, this is gibberish.
yeah.
Okay. I personally think people should live in extended families, so there's also a relative to take care of the children, right? But whatever.
Yeah,
The extended family is probably more emotionally satisfying for children and the people living in them. Women, it destroyed it. So
Yes.
Become more like an enjoyable hobby that you do if you want to, rather than a daily necessity for survival. The remaining housework.
So doing the fucking laundry is a daily necessity for survival. You're not going to die if you don't do the laundry.
Yes.
Think. You pillock. Like the struggle, life and death struggle, putting your stuff in the washing machine. This is ridiculous. Like, does a washing machine like bite you or something? They kill a washing machine with teeth. You can bite your arm off. Like what?
I only wish this was just comedy.
Yes, like a Monty Python sketch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The remaining chores should be divided equally between men and women. But as it stands in capitalism,
No. I'm not going to give in to that framing. When women work equal hours to men and do the same amount of backbreaking work, then you could talk about dividing the chores equally. So get bent.
women usually work a hard day at work, then they commute first to get the children from daycare.
No. Married women work half the amount of hours as married men. That's already been proven. So you can shut up about that.
Yeah.
School programs, and then they must go shopping for groceries, and then they get back home to cook and
Oh,
clean,
shopping.
which takes
Oh,
hours.
shopping. What fucking oppression shopping is. Yes. Yes. Oh my. Newsflash, single men with jobs do grocery shopping. Yes. Right. Okay. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of their time and significant amount of extra work while men generally let their wives handle this. These facts
Okay.
should be fairly obvious,
Yeah,
and
the men are because all these like married men are unemployed, fapping, right? They're like there's an epidemic like there's married men who don't work, right? They play video games all the time. They're fapping to porn and they refuse their wife's sex as well. They go, "Nah, I'm cutting you off from the sex. I don't feel like it. You know, I've got a headache," and they're probably cheating on them as well. Obviously, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Ugh.
to everybody, but apparently some people take this so much for granted that they don't even notice it. It's like what
Yeah,
you
I won't
believe,
notice what.
Yeah.
that's just normal. That's nothing. But then when somebody else believes something different, then that's ideology. Things that people see as normal and proper, they usually don't question it. They see it as just stuff that you shouldn't even consider. So some people don't even notice it.
Pause.
Yeah.
Projection. So he doesn't notice the fact that men do most of the work, right?
Yes.
So this is projection. Yes.
Like the Bolshevik is someone who goes with the flow. He doesn't want to take the men's rights position into consideration. Like
Doesn't
just,
question feminist narratives at all. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the unpaid labor argument is a mainstream argument, right? So if he
Yes.
wants to,
It's a mainstream capitalist argument. The capitalist bourgeoisie press promote this. Doesn't he have the self-awareness to like question this? Like, wow, the bourgeoisie capitalists going on about this all the time. Why don't we go along with it as well? So you're questioning them on everything else, but you go along with them on this. Like, come on, use
yeah,
your brain, finish Bolshevik, you prick.
I think really what's happening is that the people who say that women's oppression no longer exists, or who label feminism as female superiority because women supposedly already have everything, I think what's happening.
Pause. So let's misandry. The movement is often mistakenly equated with misandry, stereotypes of man-hating feminists. So this is gaslighting 101. This is probably from a Wikipedia article, right? So they're man-hating misandrists, right? And then they go, "How dare you have this false stereotype of us as being man-hating misandrists?" Right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
feminism is misandrist. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
just throw some examples.
Yes.
Let's go to my community post.
Yes. So,
feminism is indeed anti-male. Just open that.
okay.
Can I carry on recording? I'll be back in 2 minutes. Right? Just
All
keep
right.
on going without me.
Okay.
I'm just going to
So
try and
just-
open this.
Yeah, just open the Reddit post.
All right. So
there you go. Feminism is a hate movement against men. There's countless of examples of this that prove this.
I'll zoom in. Here we are.
Right. So there were researchers who were revealing the truth about domestic violence. They had revealed the truth about male victims, and they got threatened and harassed by feminists.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah,
back in the
No, you speak.
Yeah, I was just reading this. So back in 1910s in England, feminists would harass and shame young men on the streets and call them cowards for not enlisting in the army, right? So the White Feathers campaign, basically.
Yes.
Okay. So there's like countless of examples of feminists being misandrists, right? Or like I said, in India, feminist groups successfully stopped the government from criminalizing rape committed by women against men.
Yes. So they do that in all sorts of countries. So,
yeah.
Yeah, they did in the UK as well.
Or across the world, 130 feminist groups and high-profile feminists cite an open letter of support for abuser Amber Heard.
Yes.
Right.
Everyone found out Amber Heard was lying about getting abused by Johnny Depp, and it turned out she was the one abusing him. So the whole feminist media, the mainstream media, just reported Amber Heard's lies and didn't tell the truth. Yeah.
And it's over 130 feminist groups and high-profile feminists. It shows you that the mainstream of feminists, or pretty much all feminism, is against men.
Yeah,
right?
just like how the National Organization of Women supported Valerie Solanas after she shot Andy Warhol. and wrote a hateful scum manifesto. And then the rest of the feminist movement followed in backing her. It's like,
I heard there's even a movie about Valena Solanas
yeah,
being made.
Yeah, Valerie. I would have to look that up. So, in the UK, feminist organisations protested the government when they announced domestic abuse services would be funded in a gender-neutral way, because feminists are always blocking men from getting access to domestic shelters and homeless shelters. So, in Spain,
Yeah.
a documentary about male victims of domestic abuse had most of its screenings cancelled due to feminist protesting, threats and blockades. So just like there were domestic violence researchers that got death threats. Erin Pisey, who opened a males-only shelter, a men's homeless shelter, not sure about male only, but a men's homeless shelter, got death threats and male threats. She had to move out of the country. Yeah.
She was an egalitarian. She had female shelters and male shelters,
Yes.
right? So this Men Too narrative is a dead end because of that. You can't just be egalitarian and pretend the feminist movement doesn't exist. You can't bypass it because it did use terrorism. Like Maurice Strauss, he did like research into domestic violence that showed females were more violent. He was like sidelined in academia, and when he was dead, when he died of old age, feminists started systematically smearing him as a wife beater, an abuser.
Yes.
Yeah.
30 feminist organisations in Italy tried to silence male victims of domestic abuse and tried to take down the awareness-raising campaign that gives visibility to vulnerable men. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's countless of examples. So Finnish Bolshevik denying the misandry of feminism is just an utter joke.
Yes.
Gaslighting. It's gaslighting 101. That's all that is.
Loads of examples.
Yeah, so we can link that in the description.
Yes.
This is why feminism actually has to be outlawed and banned completely. It's like it's just so much gaslighting, disinformation, malicious violence, right?
Yes.
You know, it's amazing that these right wingers they have these paranoid fantasies about communism, subverting everything, subverting that. They're totally blind to the feminists actually doing that, right? We don't have a functional legal system in the UK anymore, thanks to feminists, right? So yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, let's get back to the video.
Yes.
Is that they see that women mostly have nominal equality. So the laws are now that women are nominally equal, just like
women are privileged by the law. Women are protected
have got more rights.
Women are protected better than men. So in Germany, there's a law that was passed that protects women from domestic violence, but that doesn't protect men from domestic violence. I've done a video on this, right? So women have more rights than men.
They got more. Yes, exactly. So, and the thing is, feminists themselves say that equality is not enough. Now they've changed the narrative, right? Equality is not enough. So that so that basically means they want more rights than men, and they're proud of it now. So again, they move the goalposts. It's like white nationalists. They go, "Oh no, we just don't want white people being persecuted. It's all about equality." The Nazis had that narrative as well. Oh, the Germans are being persecuted. They treat unfairly by the Treaty of Versailles, and once they get power, they start killing people, right, and invading countries. Feminism is the same.
Yes.
Once they gain power, they start doing political violence, taking rights away from men.
There's also the Violence Against Women Act. I think in the United States, there's no Violence Against Men Act. So another case of women being favored by the law. And not just,
there should be no Violence Against Women Act. No, and it's not just favours women; it discriminates against men because it targets men unfairly for persecution, prosecution, right? So yeah. Actually, men don't need a Violence Against Men Act as well. The Violence Against Women Act actually has to be abolished. Like violence. Can you imagine there's a Violence Against Whites Act, right? The outrage it will cause. It's equivalent of that.
Yes,
and also the Violence Against Women Act disproportionately harms black men. Okay,
Yeah.
So these
Yes, 'cause
leftists,
it's linked
these
to domestic violence call-outs. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll let you continue. Sorry.
so the leftists who are supporting feminism, but they are basically throwing black men under the bus.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Libertarians are nominally equal to capitalists. It's equally illegal for the capitalist to steal, and it's also illegal for the worker to steal. But the capitalists are rich, they don't have to steal. And then on the other
This
hand,
analogy's shit.
Yeah.
if some kleptomaniac capitalist steals, well, he can hire a good lawyer, he gets off scot-free. Or even if they do some like big-scale financial crime, they still usually get away with it. Well, as if you're
You know
poor.
who else? You know who else gets away with crime a lot of times? Women.
Women can literally murder men. Run that case, that woman ran over her boyfriend in a car, jealous. And her jealousy was used as a mitigating factor. When if a man was jealous and killed a woman, it'd be an aggregating factor. Literally ran him over, Grand Theft Auto style, and it didn't go to prison. Right? She was convicted and she didn't go to prison.
And yeah, there's obviously the sentencing gap as well. And there's women often get probation even when they do horrific crimes. They often get probation when otherwise, when they would be men, they wouldn't get that. So
yes.
Let's say you're a poor black person who steals something, you might even be executed on the spot by the police. That would never happen to a capitalist. So some of these people, they think that...
Pause. Okay, so who's more likely to get executed by the police, men or women? We know the answer to that.
Yeah, we do,
don't we?
Yes.
Men.
Like, if you
even white men.
If you look at the gender disparity of police executions versus the race disparity, you'd be shocked. So that doesn't get talked about.
Do you remember that Promo Vendetta video on like a kill all men hashtag, and it was like this black woman just going around causing trouble, and like she like got into a car, like she was doing hit, she did a hit on a bus, and she was hitting the bus and acting up and being violent, and like no one detained her, and she got into the car and started running into people. Right?
Yes.
She was like, it was like everyone was an NPC in Grand Theft Auto, and she was like the main character. That's how they were reacting to it. It was like, and she was a black woman as well. She was a tiny midget of a black woman, who's like 5 foot tall. That shows you female privilege right in action, right there.
Yes.
Like they get to dish out that violence with impunity. Like she should have been tackled to the ground and restrained, actually, before she get into the car again.
Yes. Yes.
The big black man going, oh, let her go, just let her go. Like that. It's like, dude, restrain her, get her arrested.
Nominal equality. And then the rest of the problems, they just don't even notice them because they take them so much for granted. They think that this is just the way things should be. So then they reach the false conclusion that, oh yeah, I'm sure that there is no women's oppression anymore. None of these problems exist. Women are just complaining for no reason.
There never was. There never was women's oppression. Again, the framing. There never was any female oppression. This is why you have to reject the false framing. Like you get low IQ men's rights activists who try to be moderate to go, women in third world are still oppressed. Women were oppressed in the past. Women could have bank accounts in the past. That sort of nonsense. That if you had any fucking brains and pattern recognition, you'd reject out of hand. Like feminists lie so much about the president. Occam's razor actually states a line about the past as well, right? Yeah. Like Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Like, being a moderate anti-feminist, that's like being moderately anti-Nazi. It's like saying, Nazis are wrong to say Jews control the world, but maybe we've got to hear them. They may be right in saying Jews control Austria or Hungary. So we can't...
Or let's not gas 6 million of them. Let's only gas 3 million of them.
Yes.
The moderate position.
Yes. So the lame moderate position. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, it's a common stereotype that men, that they're first taken care of by their mothers, then they move out, they live in an apartment while they're in college, and that their apartment is full of garbage and
fat. So why is he showing this image? I don't get what he's trying to...
Yeah. I don't get the point.
Fast food, because they don't know how to clean and how to make food, and then they get married, and then their wife takes care of them. Now, this is a stereotype.
Yeah, only if he's got status.
So
only if he's got status, and the wife doesn't take care of him. He takes care of the wife financially. Yeah. So
Like the man's
this
stressed,
like, oh, we should do like wives and mothers, they're mothering men, they're looking after them, like trying to make the victim the women here, right? When it's like women leeching off men, parasiting off them, like gender bourgeoisie. Married women work half the time as married men in most Western countries. Period.
So
He's just inverting reality.
I'll explain the image. A man has to put all his focus on his advancing his career and education, because if all a man has is looking after his room, he's deselected. He's tossed aside.
Yeah, but the men's got to let this room be this messy anyway. I don't know why he's showing it. It's weird.
Yeah.
If this is a real picture, this is a mentally ill person.
Yes.
Yes. This doesn't need validating, responding to in that way. We don't need to explain this.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Sure.
it's giving into his framing.
Yes. It's like most men, majority of the population don't get their homes this messy.
Imagine a man who's like this and who's mentally ill is going to be deselected unless he's got money, right?
Yeah.
So.
Right.
It's an exaggeration, but there is some truth to it. But it's not usually seen as an example of women's oppression. It's seen as a humorous fact.
Okay,
about how
pause. So if a woman raises his son, like most, families are single. There's an epidemic of single mothers. Women control the family unit. If a woman raises a son not to tidy the room, right, that's the woman's fault. Okay, so I don't know what point you're making, Finnish Bolshevik. Carry on.
goofy and inept men are. Women labeling men as silly and incapable of taking care of basic household chores, like making food for themselves, etc., it seems like a coping mechanism. There was a stand-up comedian who...
It's not. It's women trying to make the housework more important, and it's them. Women got nothing to cope with. Like you're so fucking annoying. Let's carry on. Sorry.
Said that that women were being sexist when they mocked the fact that men can't do laundry. And while maybe there would be something
but men
to
can
that,
do laundry. What the fuck are you on about? Like laundry's not difficult at all. Like men can do, like what like, like men can't open the washing machine and put shit in. Like,
I mean, this I actually shouldn't be laughing, but this is like actually insulting. Insulting.
I'm having an aneurysm here. I'm having an aneurysm. I'm not my brain. I feel like my brains are rotting away just listening.
Yeah, he's just insulting men as being retarded, basically.
Retarded oppressed. Have you noticed they're oppressors, but they're also retarded at the same time? So they're incompetent, but they're all powerful. I wonder what part of the political spectrum has narratives like that. The right wing does. The Nazis do. Right? These subhumans are oppressing us. Narrative.
Yeah.
That's what they do, right? Yes.
The specific wing of right wing party that is outside the mainstream.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the claim was that they inherently can't, that it's somehow men are just so
no one
stupid
claimed
and
that.
inferior.
No one claimed that. What the fuck are you on about? Like, I've never heard someone say that men can't do once. Like, this is like the most bizarre straw man I've ever heard. Like, the fact he has to resort to these like wacko straw manning arguments shows how such reality is.
They can't like ever learn to do laundry or whatever. But it's not really that women are sexist. It's more like men just get women to do all the household chores for them.
Yes,
and then sometimes
yes, they do. Yes, they do. They threaten by gunpoint, obviously, right? Or electric. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you do the housework or I'm going to shoot you. You do the housework or I'm going to put you in prison. Yeah, okay. Whatever. This is complete. That's sarcasm, by the way. It's obvious that they don't.
The men, yeah.
I mean,
like I've had experience with like your mother. She won't let me do the housework most of the time, right? When I've offered, she says, "No, I don't want you to do it." Or like, "Can I do the dishes for you?" She goes, "No, I want to." Right, and she'll let me. And when she sees me doing it, she says, "Oh, that's very nice of you." I'd rather just let it soak a bit longer than she does it. So, I don't think she's ever let me cook either. So, and that's not the only. That's just the most recent example I can think of. But all my other interactions, it's women who take control. It's their domain. They want to do everything, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the dynamic. Yes.
Yes.
The man is out working all the time because that's what he's pressured to do.
It's just my experience is even when you're not working, they still want to do it anyway,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
And make fun of it. So it's actually the opposite. It's not women being assholes and being sexist. It's patriarchy. Capitalist ideology strengthens
Bullshit.
Pause.
No such thing as
Right. Women control the family unit. Okay, they can alienate fathers. Okay, like this fathers' rights movement that gets laughed at and joked at and gaslighted. Men pay child support, right? While women, if they put when men alienated fathers are pushed away from the children without consent, end up paying child support. While women can abandon their kids. That alone is enough to dispute patriarchy. The term patriarchy is hate speech and it's gibberish. There's never been a patriarchy. Period.
Yes, and also there are many cases in which women threatened men with false calls to the police, and where they would lie about being harmed by their men in domestic violence disputes. So, and they have that power. They can threaten men like this because the cops would really intervene on behalf of the women and would arrest the male victim, actually.
Yes.
So that shows you how much power and control women have and how helpless men are. There's no such thing as patriarchy.
I believe that Holocaust deniers should be prosecuted, right? I don't believe in freedom to be a Holocaust denier. You should not have the freedom to claim that patriarchy exists. I'm sorry. That should be criminally liable because it actually, like, Holocaust denial could lead to real life harm and Nazis coming to power again. Like feminist promotion leads to real life harm right now. That should be outlawed. I know it sounds like a radical position, but I think it's absolutely ethically consistent. I'm sorry. There's no merit to feminism. It's just lies. It's lies with a malicious intent. It's not like a mentally ill, delusional person who believes in flat Earth theory. This is like real malicious harm.
Yeah, if mainstream society can identify dangerous ideologies and censor them, like we're just we're just doing the same thing.
We want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Idea that men are biologically, supposedly naturally or inherently not capable of housework, while women are supposedly inherently.
Who says that? Again, who says that? I'm sorry. This is making the video long. It's very hard to let this bullshit go every time he says it.
Oh, God.
Also, he shows a clip of Jordan Peterson, but he doesn't actually let Jordan Peterson talk. So this is actually dishonest.
And the thing is that Jordan Peterson's a massive misogynist as well. He's actually said that women have got better social out of universities. That's why there's more women in universities. He says all sorts of like you're worthless as a man if you don't have a woman in your life.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it even said that circumcision's important transition to manhood. Like
yes.
Yes.
The newborn baby is transitioning into manhood. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Currently suited for it, and men are supposedly suited for better things like career, education, taking part in society.
Pause. You gaslighting muppet. They don't frame it that way. They don't say men are suited for better things, like work and education. First of all, women push men out of education right now. Even when he made his video, it was going on 8 years ago, 6 years ago. Like, how the hell can you gaslight like this and just lie? Like, come on. Like, even if some man did say that, some weirdo man said that, like, men are made for better things, so like career and education. It doesn't have any effect on the system, does it? Women are using structural violence, systematic violence to push men out of education right now. Right now. Schoolboys are being downmarked by teachers right now. Okay? What the hell are you complaining about?
Politics
carry on.
And work that actually earns money instead of just being someone's unpaid servant. Now, I'm sure you can already see how these kinds of stupid attitudes, they oppress women, but they're also kind of treating men as morons too, because that's just a contradictory
Well, do you know
logic.
what, Finnish Bolshevik? I just want to say something. The stereotype about men being morons, unfortunately, has been proven by you. Male feminists prove that stereotype.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of the system. Capitalism has a complicated dynamic about housework. housework is necessary to
Wow,
maintain.
right. Like, the capitalist dystopia where we breed mutant women with multiple arms that can do multiple tasks at the same time. That's sort of
Now that image elevates the stay-at-home woman into a god. It's like Ganesh.
yeah, it's
Just
so manipulative. But
yeah,
it's so hard. Like, oh yeah, like,
Oh my god.
you can Hoover,
I mean,
again. You can Hoover, I Hoover like twice a month, right? It's so bloody easy. It's so bloody easy. Like, literally, an average size flat or house, you can just Hoover very quickly. Like Alex, your house, it's small, but it's got 2 floors. How long do you think it'll take you? If you're just living with Hoover on your own, how long do you think it'll take you to Hoover it?
maybe between 20 minutes to an hour. I'd be moving around
Yeah.
furniture just to hoover
Yes.
under it. Yeah.
If you're just being lazy, you just hoovered it. Like you don't have to like move the furniture every single time. Maybe just like this time I'll just
Probably-
hoover it. It'll be
yeah.
10 minutes.
Probably
Yeah,
be
it'll be
much
10
quicker.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Like cooking as well.
Yeah.
People cook for a hobby. By the way, it's enjoyable, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
yes,
and they can listen to music or the podcast while they
Yes.
do it. They can take multiple breaks. This work is
Yes.
also not very risky.
Like it's
Like
yes.
compare it to a male
Yes.
construction worker. Jesus
Yes.
fucking Christ.
Like
but I know I keep using your mother's example as a example. It's the most recent example I've got. So literally, she'll go to me. Oh, can I make some cakes for you? Can I make some cakes for you? And I said, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. She basically insists, and then she makes some cakes. She bakes cakes for me. And why does she do it? Because she likes doing it. No
Yeah.
one forces her to do it, right?
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Esther Vilar talked about women who do chores at home. It's talked about it being just a favorable activity on their level.
yes.
Like
Yes.
this is the sort of
And
truth.
well,
yeah.
truth to it. So I really hate how they use children as hostages in these narratives as well. Oh look, she's really impressed by having to look after the children. Very manipulative,
Yes.
right?
The child is a burden, right, on her life.
Yes.
No, that's
Yes.
your child. It's like that's
Yes.
another life.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and again, if a man wants to be a house husband and he wants to take care of the kids, women reject that. They divorce
Yeah.
such men.
Yeah.
So this is just all bullshit.
There was that old video by Barbarossa. He pointed out that in the mainstream news, house husbands get ditched by their high-flying wives because they
Yes.
Yeah.
The wives just get resentful. The husband gets all this free time to play with the kids and just look after the house. Yeah.
The working class, workers need to eat, they need to sleep, they need to have clothes. All of that is necessary for the working class to exist and to replenish itself. Capitalists benefit from the fact that housework is unpaid despite being completely necessary. Capitalist
No, it's not
propaganda.
completely. It's completely necessary. Like me clipping my toenails is right. It's not paid. It's basic maintenance. Equating basic maintenance. And again, it's not unpaid anyway. And again,
Yeah.
single men jobs do this stuff. Like, what the fuck are you on about? I've never said this about 5 times, but he's actually repeating as well. It's because there's a lot of filibuster in this video. I've just realised he's repeating the same narratives over and over again, like he's trying to brainwash us. Okay, so he's made the same debunked false points multiple times now.
Is this why his video's half an hour long? Is because it's
Yes.
just the same few points that are wrong. Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah, it's just feminist talking points repeated over and over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we just have to get through it.
Often advocate that women should return to being stay-at-home moms to devote themselves to housework full time. This would increase women's oppression even more, as it makes them 100%.
Women, bullshit. Women are oppressed. You can't increase women's oppression is 0, so it'll increase that to 0. So
for example, a lot of right-wing women are like trad wife LARPers. They actually want to be trad wives. This is because they are not oppressed in that
Yes.
role. They actually have more free time. They don't actually have to
Yes.
work all that much. And
Yes.
and
I
men
noticed something as
are
well.
actually oppressed in that
And also, there's
situation.
trad wives. I've noticed there's a trend with a lot of trad wives as well. So they say, "Oh, I'm living a traditional trad lifestyle." They dress up in like cute, nostalgic uniforms or clothes, right? And they'll do a bit of gardening, right? And they get their man to buy them a big house, right, with lots of space and a massive garden, okay? And that's their trad wife LARP. So that's a gender bourgeoisie behaviour right there.
Yes.
And economically reliant on their husbands, and also totally cuts them off from society.
They're not economically reliant on their husbands in the same way the bourgeoisie are economically reliant on the proletariats, right? They're extracting resources and money from them, okay? Extracting their labour. That's not reliance, right? That's parasitic. So your framing is false there.
Also, women can, if they're no longer satisfied with a man, they can just divorce him, jump to the next
Yeah.
man, or they can
Yes.
get welfare and government benefits.
Or get a job far easier than a man can.
Yeah.
Harder for them to get class conscious and understand the world, and it also stops them from getting organized. But the reason that this
What?
doesn't
What
typically...
the fuck? Like, women are not organised. Women have got something called feminism, the most successful movement in history. What planet are you living on? Finnish Bolshevik.
happen is that capitalism
We call the
has
Martian
another...
Bolshevik. Are you on Mars? Do you live in a Mars colony or something? I don't know what's going on with you. All right. Maybe you've got gender roles like this on Mars. You live on Mars. You're from Mars. I've figured it out. So Mars is like a civilization where women are actually oppressed and the men are oppressors. It's an inversion from Earth.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can think of to explain all this nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah.
tendency that resists this, namely that families are often too poor to survive on a single income, and as a result, women also have to enter the workforce. In a way, this is a progressive phenomena because it results in women getting class conscious, becoming more politically active and politically conscious, and seeing how the
Yes.
world
Right.
works,
Whatever.
Yes.
instead of being so isolated. But it then results in a
Women
different
are
form
not
of
isolated. What?
Yeah.
Women are not isolated. They have more friends than men. That's number one.
Yeah.
They're more connected to their families, right?
Yeah.
Men are actually isolated. Okay,
Women control the
especially
family unit.
Like,
yeah.
women are literally more connected than ever today. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this guy on about? Jesus.
like women are connected with to their peers, to other women, just on gender alone. They're connected to the elites high up. They're like, yeah, just
women's oppression, which is the double shift, having to both work at a job and then still do most of the housework afterwards. These two
Okay.
dynamics...
Pause on that. So let's just
Can I just point something out? Hasn't he said this already?
he has
Like
said
multiple
this like
times.
3 times. Let's debunk this with a graph, right?
all right.
Go to my community post,
Sure. So
please.
let's see.
So go up a bit. It was an earlier segment. Yeah, men still do more work even if we take household work into account. Click on that.
Okay.
No, not this one. The other one.
Below it.
Oh, below.
The
Here we
links
go.
are below the text. Yes.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll zoom in.
This isn't actually the one.
Oh,
This isn't the one.
Women call the shots at home. Public mixed on gender roles in jobs, but that's saying women call the shots, though, right?
Yeah, that is about women's power, but the other one was
Yes.
about women's work versus men's work, right? Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. The myth of the lazy father.
this one,
That is
right?
correct.
So I just
Yes.
Just scroll down to the graph.
okay.
You don't need to read the text. Just there's a graph that we need to see
All right.
that just debunks what Finnish Bolshevik just said.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, right? So dual income, we see men still working more, even if we take into account household chores. Okay, you see that graph on the
Okay,
left.
I just want to put. We need to save this. We need to take a screen cap of this. Actually, I'm gonna put this on my WordPress blog. I think this is important to save.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
So what? So women having this double burden, complete bollocks. Even in dual income households, men do still more work. Okay. There's like, and Finnish Bolshevik would probably say, "Oh, look at this other graph, mom full time and dad at home." Yeah, this is like 1% of the cases or something, and those arrangements don't last very long because women ditch those house husbands. The vast majority of
I've noticed something as well. This is just anecdotal. Women do a lot of unnecessary housework. Like a lot of them are very neurotic about dusting, for example, which is a complete waste of time.
yeah, that also inflates the numbers actually. So yeah, Finnish Bolshevik is just full of shit. This graph here just proves him wrong 100%.
Yeah.
It's ironic that he's like promoting the capitalist narrative when it comes to gender relations, the same disinformation and lies, right? Yeah.
Okay. Back to the video.
Yeah.
In capitalism alternate based on many different factors, and this causes fluctuations in the numbers of women staying at home and women who work.
Yeah.
A really
Women
good
choose to stay at home. Thank you.
example of this is the US during World War II, because in America it was more economically suitable for capitalism of the time that women don't work, so they mostly stayed at home. Then the war happened, all the men went to war, so women had to enter the workforce in larger numbers to keep the factories running.
Yeah. So what were the men doing? What were the men doing during the going out partying? Right? Were they going for picnics? Right? Were they going on holidays? What were they doing? No, they're dying and fighting in the biggest conflict in world history. That's what they were doing. Okay, that's the context right there. It's like the right to life is one of the most fundamental rights, and men were suffering more than women in this regard.
Yes. Men are stripped of their right to live.
weren't there. And then after the war ended, the women were pushed back into being stay-at-home once again.
No,
Of course,
they chose to be stay at home. They probably thought, I'm sick of working this factory job. Let the male slave take over, and I'll be back home, chilling and relaxing. Right. And again, and the women, these housewives were paid for by imperialism, right, with the GI Bill, right. So that's the empire, the periphery, right, the third world getting exploited, and the Americans profiting off it, right, and the women benefiting from it. That's what was going on there. Women are the gender bourgeoisie. Women are the drivers of capitalism. Hypergamy is the engine of capitalism.
Yeah.
Then women's employment has increased. In Nazi Germany, you saw the opposite. It was, of course, part of the Nazi reactionary ideology, but it was also because of Germany's high unemployment that the Nazis decided to force women to get out of the workforce.
And who supported the Nazis? Who supported the Nazis? Who supported the Nazis? Oh, women. Hitler got into power with the female vote. Thank you very much.
Yes. Crowds of women loved Hitler.
Yes. And the thing is, not just the crowds who voted in by the female votes, right? That's the important thing right there.
Yes.
To, of course, reduce unemployment significantly if you just eliminate half the workforce. You just tell them to...
And the thing is, this is actually one of the least unfair things they did, because those unemployed men had no one to support them. They were suffering, right? So when the men got the job, what did they do with the money? They supported a woman. Yeah. Okay. So why are you acting like this is a great injustice?
Yes.
Be stay at home.
It would be an injustice if women weren't hypergamous. If the same amount of women supported a male dependent as a man supported a female dependent, you could say, all right, there's no pretext to push women out of work. But women didn't do that, did they?
So there's all kinds of dynamics like this that influence it. Similar factors influence public child care. Public child care is progressive, but capitalism
Okay, what the government wants to abandon equality plans for early childhood education. The daycare centre was disappointed. The work will become more difficult. According to the Ministry of Education, the cancellation is not intended to reduce the importance of equality. The ministry estimates the burden on municipalities. What the fuck is this? This is really out of context. I don't even know what country this is, right? What is this point? What does this even mean? Let's carry on playing. This is gibberish.
Doesn't want to pay for it, so they'd rather let women handle it themselves for free. But in some cases, capitalism requires more labor power to be put on the market, and thus it needs to allow society to handle some of the childcare so women can work more in capitalistic employment, and capitalists can then exploit their labor power. Of course, political factors also influence this.
Okay, pause. Do you see how that screen cap was actually meaningless? Prove anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
okay.
The masses campaign for public childcare. The masses campaign for women to be allowed to work. This also sometimes forces the capitalists to allow it. The most reactionary capitalist propaganda argues vehemently against public childcare and even against public education and against women's employment. The purpose of abolishing public childcare.
So I've never seen any significant number of people argue against women's employment. Right? I've seen like nut job far right wingers arguing against public childcare. A lot of Trecons do. Like, I think it's a plot to brainwash children. But you're not even making a point. I don't see how that proves anything you say. Finish Bolshevik. So you just get it gashing.
Education is to cut costs and increase profits, but it is also to prevent children from learning things about society that the capitalists don't want them to learn. This is why the American capitalist class allows Christian fundamentalists and far-right reactionaries to homeschool. If everybody was a communist who wanted to educate their children communistically, educate them in Marxism, then I'm sure the capitalists
Okay,
would not.
What the fuck is this guy's waffling on about? Complete tangent here. So women gatekeep and control the schooling system. The failure of the schooling system is actually on them, right? Okay, and America's got a very bad education system, but it does nothing to prove his points because men suffer worse in the school system than women do. So this is just garbage.
Yeah.
Not allow such homeschooling. Women are usually the victims in domestic violence situations instead of being
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. Show the data for this. Let's debunk this right away. Data.
All right, let's go to it. So,
what one do we go to?
All three of them are actually very good.
Let's just look at one though. Just what's the best one to look at?
So let's see. I'll just go with the first one. So domestic abuse is mostly done by women.
Yeah,
women.
That is a fact.
Women call the shots at home. Public mixed on gender roles in jobs.
That is not the one though. That is not the data on domestic violence.
Okay, Sorry, let me just go to it.
What's going on?
I'm trying to load the page.
Okay, cool. All right.
Prevalence of intimate partner violence, victimization, and bidirectionality among men. An international study of European Union and English-speaking Western countries. Yeah.
Let's scroll down. Let's go to the abstract. Go to the abstract.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
this was total of 6,000 men participated in this across 14 Western English-speaking countries. Just scroll down a little bit.
Yes.
Intimate partner victimization rates among men were substantial and exceeded perpetration rates. Right, so more men being victimized than they perpetrated in nearly all forms of intimate partner violence across most countries. Bidirectionality was the most common pattern. Unidirectional victimization was especially common for legal abuse, while unidirectional perpetration and bidirectionality were the most common for sexual intimate partner violence. Just scroll down a little bit. These findings challenge the common narrative that frames men predominantly as perpetrators. Right, so women victimize men more than men victimize women. There's more data on this. There's just show the other twos real quick.
Okay, I'll show this one. I think
Boris Strauss discovered this in the 70s, by the way. So it's been known for years.
sorry.
Yeah, this is also a global meta-analysis.
Go to the abstract.
Right.
Yes.
So the over 1 million men participated in the study from 28 countries, right? So just scroll down a little bit.
So what were the percentage numbers compared to female victims? That's the most important.
Right. So bidirectionality occurred in like 70% of cases, implying 32% unidirectional female to male violence. Right. So the most common pattern is bidirectionality, but the second most common is female to male violence. So women victimize more. Right. And even in bidirectionality, when you read the literature, women initiate actually that more. Okay.
Yes. So you know, there's this stereotype of like female domestic violence being defensive against violent men. It's actually the opposite, then, isn't it? If the women start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's like countless of studies like this. Okay.
So the thing, Murray Strauss, he basically said he discovered like it's basically 50% of domestic violence sole perpetrator, right? And out of that sole perpetrator domestic violence, 70% of it was by women. Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been known. Let's move on. It's obvious that women are more violent than men in domestic violence.
All right, there we go. Well, let's get back to the video then.
Perpetrators, women are generally at much greater risk of having violence done
No,
to
they're
them.
Yeah.
The statistics are pretty grim. They're actually unbelievably grim. As in many of the
you know what? Statistics are grim, right? But they're fake, right? If I could come up with statistics. 99% of women experience domestic violence in a lifetime and end up chopped up and murdered. But those would be very grim statistics, but they'll be false, right? Just like this statistic.
Yeah. And usually what feminists do when it comes to domestic violence, they use police statistics. The problem with police statistics, though, is that they're feminist biased because police are biased against men. They often
there's feminist policing, like under the Duluth model as well. There are actually cases like basically feminists actually lobbied in America for mandatory arrests, and the arrest which is evil, right? So basically the arrests of men and women spiked, but I think the arrests of women spiked by 7,000% and like 400% for men. So what the feminists did is said no. So they came up with primary aggressor policies that arrested men at domestic violence call-outs, right? They were designed to target and arrest men only. So that there's that inherent bias. So police statistics are not reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the general problem with those feminist statistics.
Countries. The number of women who face physical and or sexual violence is, even according to official statistics, 1/3.
Pause.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like this statistics. I'm going to explain the flaw of this methodology. It's bullshit, right? Okay, it's bullshit anyway. But they're lumping in sexual violence, which is one of the rarest forms of common violence, and they've included threats, including threats. So, like, people mouth off to each other all the time. I've actually seen people threaten to kill each other in an argument, and nothing happens, right? So, have you noticed? So they're just they're using weasel tactics and like just lumping everything together and putting it into one big stat. It's meaningless. It's like saying 1 in 3 people will be pickpocketed and murdered in their lifetime, right? Which might be technically true, but it's meaningless as a statistic. Okay,
Correct.
like 1 in 3 people will eat a pancake in a lifetime, or die of or get kidnapped by the mafia, right? It's like it's meaningless.
Yeah, and also he's not doing a comparative analysis with men.
Yes.
Men
Yes.
face way more physical
Yes.
violence, and to be honest, also sexual violence. There's CDC data showing that when you include
Yes.
the category made to penetrate, the numbers are roughly equal. And
Yes.
when you also include prison rapes, then the
Yes.
numbers for male victims exceed that of female victims.
And prison rape is done on purpose. It's not an accident. It's not a side effect. It's an intended feature of the prison system. Everyone knows it goes on, and people joke about it. And when people they don't like when a celebrity they don't like gets arrested and put in prison, they wish for them to get raped. They go, "Don't drop the soap. Oh, Bubba's going to take care of him." Blah blah blah. Right? It's an intended. It's part of the structural violence. It's completely intended. Right?
Yeah.
So literally, the American prison system rapes men. Society, that means American society rapes men, right?
And what someone like Finnish Bolshevik would probably say to this is that, oh, it's other men that's doing it, so it doesn't count or something, or it counts as patriarchal violence against men backfiring or something. But the problem is, there's also studies that show that there was this one study about British men that surveyed British men, and they reported like 70% or 71% of those British men experienced sexual violence victimization by women. Okay.
Right.
So it's not just men doing this type of stuff.
Can I use another analogy? Let's say there was a patriarchal system, right? And he locked women up in a cage, right? And then he got them to fight each other, right? They starved them and then he just locked them in the cage and stressed them out to fight each other. And then the patriarchal system said, look, it's women doing it to other women, therefore it doesn't. Would people accept that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So it's part of the structure. It's part of the feminist structural violence because it's the feminist female supremacist system that's arresting men and incarcerating them, right?
Yeah.
So
people wouldn't accept the racial version of that argument either. It's like the 7 white slaves put 2 black men in a cage to fight each other out. You know, oh, that's just black on black men fighting each other. It's like no, everyone will see that's racist.
Yes, and the Marxists understand like if a community is more impoverished and it's suffering structural violence and economic deprivation, it's going to be more violent anyway. And that's what I think. That's a large part of male violence. I think if men are treated well, right, and they get a good stable upbringing in the background, they're actually far less violent than women, in my opinion. Okay, but the violent men who are out there, I think that comes from the abuse and neglect and structural violence that men suffer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the National Organization for Women has vetoed or suppressed shared parenting, equal shared parenting, that has harmed millions of boys growing up, actually. And they grew up in disruptive single mother households, ended up on streets, right, with gangs and shit like this.
Yes.
So, and the violent men that they get selected as well. So they're preferred in their cultures by women.
To have.
Carry on.
Depending a little bit on the country. Some reactionary propagandists point to the fact that males who suffer from similar things are usually not taken seriously. They say that actually women are not oppressed. Instead, it's men who are oppressed, because men who face this kind of abuse are sometimes not taken seriously. There's an infamous
weasel was sometimes not taken seriously. Right, like you see that disingenuous weasel word. Sometimes not. No, they're systematically discriminating against in policing. A male victim of domestic violence is more likely to be arrested than his female abuser.
Correct. Okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Recording of a man, I think in Finland, who calls the police asking for help because he was being physically assaulted by his female partner, and the police replies by mocking him for being weak. I'm sure that you can imagine like the kind of situation it was. And such cases indeed do happen, but they do not actually negate women's oppression. Instead, they demonstrate the existence of patriarchy, the system of women's oppression.
That's the most circular. It's like saying, it's like in the South, like black slaves being whipped, and they said, no, that doesn't prove that blacks are oppressed. That actually proves that whites are oppressed. Like what? It's so stuck in circular. Like so, made up examples of female oppression are patriarchy, right? Because he doesn't show any real examples. But when he shows real examples of men being oppressed, oh, that's patriarchy. I can't think of any. I can't think of any analogy of any other political movements that is this bizarre, right? Because the white supremacist system actually didn't. The white supremacist system didn't go around in the South. Didn't go around and say, "Oh, white oppressed." Right. What they did instead is that they said, "No, we deserve to be the oppressors. We deserve to rule over the blacks because we're superior." The feminist supremacist system, the female supremacist system, by contrast, claims to be oppressed. One of the most blatant gaslighting I've ever seen from any political movement ever. Right, sorry, you can speak.
Yeah, I mean, if everything is patriarchy, like it's like you said, like if there was like evidence of women being oppressed, and he said it's patriarchy. If there's evidence of men being oppressed, then he also says it's patriarchy. So it's an unfalsifiable pseudo-scientific nonsense theory. It's a conspiracy theory.
And you know what? It's very much they mock the no true capitalist argument. Finnish Bolsheviks mocked it. The no true capitalist argument. That's not true capitalism. So this is like the not true feminism argument as well, right?
Yeah, and we can actually disprove this. Like the Duluth model alone has shaped how police respond to domestic violence. Right. So there's like a pseudoscientific framework invented by a feminist woman that has shaped the legal system and the criminal justice system and police response. That actually systematically oppresses men. Male victims of domestic violence. So he cannot say this is patriarchy.
Yes, it creates a chilling effect. Cause if you've got a violent woman attacking you, so you get mocked if you try to find a police to get her arrested, right? Like, so it's like you're getting beat by a woman, right? That's such an evil thing to say, because like if he actually defends himself, right, and even bruises her a little bit, he's the one that risks getting arrested and convicted, right? And in the UK, you're put on a criminal database for life. Right, like it's very similar to a terrorist, a sex offenders database. There's a special anti-misogynist criminal database for men in the UK now, right? So you defend yourself from a violent woman, risk becoming unemployable for life.
Yeah, and it's feminists who made that happen.
Yes.
Women are victimized so frequently and
yes.
No, carry on. Sorry.
Portrayed as weak and inherently inferior, that it paradoxically also turns against men. That men who get assaulted.
No. Pause, you piece of shit. Okay, if someone's weaker than another and society presses them, holds in contempt, right? They won't use that weakness as an excuse to let them abuse the ruling class, right? That's not how it works. You pathological lying piece of crap. Okay, that logic's bizarre. Okay, they don't go, oh, black men are weaker than white men, right? We got more rights than them, therefore they can abuse. No, they'll punish them extra hard if they transgress against white people. That's how it works. So that actually proves that women are the ruling caste, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just presupposes that male victims of domestic violence get discriminated against because of patriarchy or because of like stereotypes against women being weaker or something. He just presupposes
women are weaker. Women are weaker though. That's the thing. It's nothing to do with anything. Violence.
Wait. He just presupposes that as the mechanism without any evidence. Meanwhile, we have evidence of feminists actually creating that outcome with stuff like the Duluth model again, right? So
they get the physical strength. That stereotypes. The physical strength has nothing to do with anything. Women are liked better than men. They got more systematic privilege than men. They get away with crimes against men far more than men get away with crimes against women. So that's actually proof of female privilege, right? The higher caste has a more social license to violate boundaries and break laws and get away with it, right? While the lower caste men are hyper scrutinized, right, and punished harder than women for transgressions. Sometimes even for things they don't even do, right?
Right, and the male feminists, there are even some feminists who say, oh, feminists themselves are also part of the patriarchy, right? This is the ultimate cope, the ultimate unfalsifiability of this whole worldview.
I've got to say the patriarchy is the most successful political movement to ever exist because you can't find it anywhere, but it somehow controls everything. You know, they've got to be very cunning, whoever it is. So what is it like? Do they just like whatever social system comes up, they'll just take it over automatically? So
treated as weak
that's sarcasm,
and
by the way.
Yes.
laughable, because women are described as so inferior that they shouldn't be able to physically attack men. All these types of issues.
What?
Yeah. People cheer women attacking men all the time.
Yes. Fucking retard. Like, one of the arguments are so stupid. You know their position is complete crap. They've got nothing to defend it with. And on some level, we must know this. He must know he's lying.
It's like, is this video trying to beat us down with repeated stupidity? I think that's what it's...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's a feminist tactic. Just repeat the false narratives over and over and barrage.
Yes.
This is why feminism has got to be banned.
Yes. It's like, you can't have a debate when feminism is on the table. You just can't.
But they won't debate us anyway.
Yeah.
They won't debate us. They'll ban us from the debate.
Yes.
So we've got to bypass them. The thing is, the way you deal with feminists, you have to gatekeep them out of society and stop them from organising. Period.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's carry on.
Called men's rights activists and other such reactionaries point to are exactly.
Well, we're not reactionaries.
We are the progressives. You're the reactionary. Finnish Bolshevik.
Yes, so we're going to prove it. There's a certain incident that you're involved in that we're going to talk about at the end of the video. Finnish Bolshevik.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly these kinds of issues, where patriarchy, which predominantly oppresses women, also sometimes hurts men. And indeed, it is actually...
Bullshit.
So he doesn't even define what he means by patriarchy. So it's vague and nebulous and scientific nonsense.
Yes.
Right? So he hasn't proved that this system that he describes as patriarchy oppresses women. Men.
So what has he argued? Let's recap what he's argued. Women have to put stuff in the washing machine and put things in the oven, right? False rape and violence statistics that are complete garbage. Okay, so that's all he's come up with so far.
Yeah. Stuff about unpaid labor, wage gaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Complete nonsense. Yes.
Meanwhile, men are the vast majority of homeless people, the vast majority of suicide, the vast majority of heart disease and cancer victims, the vast majority of victims of homicide, the vast majority of victims of many mass killings and the male-only draft, the vast majority of victims of war, even when they're civilians, the vast majority of workplace deaths. They have longer working hours, they work overtime. The list goes on and on and on. Like,
he's all saying
let's carry on.
Not in the interest of men to maintain patriarchy. It is in the interest of capitalism to maintain patriarchy.
What?
It is in the interest of capitalism.
It's the interest of capitalists to maintain a social system that doesn't exist. Okay, so women have complete social and political dominance and economic dominance, right? They control 8% of consumer spending. They got more access to higher education and the job market, right? So, how is this patriarchy? This is gibberish.
Yeah. I mean, even again, he probably wants to claim, oh, it's patriarchy because there's like more male politicians or there's like more male CEOs or something, or more male bankers or something. Well, this might be the case, but the problem is women basically put these men there. They select for these men with their mating habits, with their hypergamy.
Yes.
Right. So,
and also, can I make an analogy to the Turkish Empire? So you had a slave caste called Janissaries, right, who held very important positions of power in the Turkish Empire. There was still a slave caste, right? They're still inferior to the sultans, right? Okay, so just because there's men in positions of power, they still serve women.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's many positions of power, but all the laws favour women, the society still favours women. Those men are acting on behalf of women. Period.
Right. I mean, City Crusher recently made a video about a billionaire who gets like falsely accused. Like you would
Yes.
think a billionaire who actually
Yes.
runs things in a supposed patriarchy, he would just
Yes.
be able to
Yes.
not be railroaded by these feminists.
Yeah.
By these
Do you think
feminists.
a trailer park trash white female, right? If she was accused of molesting someone like 30 years ago, do you think she would get even prosecuted for it? Would it even go to court?
No.
Not really.
No. Exactly. So it shows you that women, a trailer park trash female's got more privilege than a billionaire in the
Yes,
legal
like-
system.
Yes. Like the idea you want to bring up something from 30 years ago would just get laughed out. So
The thing is, if we had a functioning legal system, if you had no evidence, go to court, you wouldn't be able to convict anyone in hearsay. It's fucking insane that this is even happening now. You used to have like statutes of limitation for that reason, and you had to have mechanisms where they weigh up the strength of the evidence, and it wouldn't even go to court because it's a sexual assault case, right? Or it goes to court because of feminist policing. It violates due process, which legal systems need. It's very important to have proper due process for a functioning of
Yeah.
a decent legal system. Yes.
Yeah, feminists have fought hard to undermine due process, actually.
Yes.
And also
Listen
another thing is, like when you have male politicians, they often
Yes.
give in to feminist groups' demands. Like there's this case of Obama when the financial recession happened in 2008. He wanted to have like the stimulus package to get the economy going again. And there were like feminist groups who were pressuring Obama to give more jobs to women. Right.
Yes.
So and he gave into that. So and this harmed men.
Yes. Again, because of the gender roles, it's a double whammy. It takes jobs away from men. It undermines but again, men get excluded from because it's not just romance. Men get excluded from social circles by women who gatekeep them, right? Thus reducing the social networking and thus the job opportunities. So it's a double whammy of injustice against them. Men have to protect their jobs as a group against women, to be honest. But let's carry on.
divide the working class, to pit men against women and women against men, while it is in the interest of the man.
Okay. This fucking loser is accusing the capitalists of pitting men and women against each other. It sounds like the tradcon right-wing conspiracy theory. They go, oh yeah, they're trying to divide men and women by pitting them against each other. Exactly the same narrative. It's bollocks.
yes.
Absolute fucking bollocks.
Yes.
Yes.
The men are the working class. That is what the
Yes.
evidence shows.
Yes.
Masses interest of working men and working women to unite against patriarchy and capitalism. Prostitution is also predominantly done by women, while men are predominantly the customers. This is another sign of women's oppression.
The vast majority of men never visit prostitutes, actually, and the few men that do it out of desperation most of the time. Okay,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay, and here's the thing. The thing is, but if you want to outlaw prostitution, if you want to be consistent, you have to persecute the women as well because they don't do it out of desperation. Okay, and second of all, here's another problem. If you want to outlaw prostitution, you have to outlaw dating and marriage because men are paying for women in dates and marriage as well, right? So why is it okay to pay for women within marriage, dating, or having a girlfriend, right? But it's bad when it comes to prostitution. What's the difference there? I don't see any ethical difference. Do you?
No.
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 So-
Okay. Yeah.
Like women exploiting men who are desperate and needy for affection. That's it.
Yes.
That's the relationship.
Yes. Yes.
This state of affairs is portrayed by capitalist propaganda as inherently quote-unquote natural. They say that such a situation...
Pause. So most capitalists, like America's outlawed prostitution. What the fuck is he on about? It depends on the capitalist country. The capitalists don't go, prostitution is quote unquote natural. Let's keep it going.
Has always existed. They say that prostitution is the oldest job in the world, and yada yada. But that is not the case. Prostitution emerged only in class society. Before that, it didn't exist. And in socialism,
What?
it was.
Yeah.
Pause. Is that actually true? So you're saying in hunter-gatherer societies, women gave them resources? Like, what is he trying to say?
That is complete fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it's like
There is evidence of hunter-gatherer societies that are supposedly egalitarian and classless, where women traded sexual favors against food provisioning by certain high status hunters, right? By very successful hunters. There's anthropological evidence of this. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking out of his ass.
Isn't there proof of prostitution existing among chimpanzees or orangutans? One of the apes.
I think haven't they done a study where they gave like a chimpanzees like a currency. They gave them a token, right, to buy food from a machine, and the chimpanzees ended up doing prostitution. They weren't trained to do the prostitution. They ended up doing it naturally. Like there was actually male chimps giving female chimps tokens in exchange for sex.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess part of the
And look, even if it was true that prostitution just emerged on a capitalist or on a class society, so what? What's the problem? What's the issue with it?
Yes.
There's no logical
Appeal to
argument.
nature fallacy.
Yeah.
It's an appeal to nature fallacy. He's trying to argue it's unnatural, therefore bad. That's all it is. It's very low IQ. It's very right wing, actually. They use the appeal to nature fallacy a lot.
Yeah, Marxists have this weird fixation on prostitution, like it's this inherently evil thing or something.
It's spite.
So using their logic, Finnish Bolsheviks' logic, Engels was a misogynist. He was buying women for his wealth, right?
Yeah.
Practically abolished.
Marx and Engels, yes.
In
Friedrich
some countries,
Engels,
prostitution is very blatant, while in others it is carefully hidden. In Finland, it's hidden. There's a shocking amount of prostitution considering how hidden it is. There's basically nobody out there like explicitly selling it, but according to sources, in the capital of Finland, there are more than 40 so-called massage parlors which actually sell these kinds of quote-unquote services. They are disguised for legal purposes, but it is actually evident to everyone what it is that they're actually selling. And they are even advertised. They just use kind of covert language. These quote-unquote enterprises typically employ Asian immigrants, victims of human trafficking, and they are run by...
That's not human trafficking. That's not human trafficking. That's abuse of the word. They're not slaves. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off with that manipulative language.
Also, the thing is, why is he singling out prostitution? All kinds of industries have connections to human trafficking. The agricultural industry has forced labor in it. So is he for banning agriculture now?
Yeah.
It's like their concern is just that other men might be getting some sexual gratification. We want to
They're going after men, yes. They're just going after men. The thing is, again, you got to outlaw. The thing is, if you want to go after prostitution, you got to outlaw hyper. Literally, if you want to be ethically consistent, like you got to go after like gold digging women. Any relationship where the woman goes for a higher status man and paying for her, earning most of the money, right? Which we've proven earlier on before. Those have to be outlawed if you want to be ethically consistent. But they're silent on this. They pretend it doesn't. So they're dishonest. They're dishonest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if there is some criminal stuff in connection, some criminal stuff happening in connection to the prostitution industry, like every other industry has problems, right? So it's up to the law to handle such cases, right? But this
there's no sex trafficking going on in the West. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. If it happens, it's extremely, 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 extremely rare. So it's just poisoning the well with bullshit. Like even feminist, I saw this feminist. I wish I saved it. I saw this feminist podcast years ago, right? It was like, but it was by sex worker feminists, and they're all basically pointing out how like the sex trafficking narrative is largely bullshit and hysteria. Right, it's very good. They're only being honest in their own like material interests in one particular issue, right? But they provided sources. It's just bollocks. It's bollocks. They watered down the word sex trafficking so much it's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless.
Yes.
Who are illegal capitalists. And from what I've read, they seem to work in a similar way as other enterprises that employ Asian immigrants like this. They go to Thailand or some poor country. They take these people, ship them over here. They don't speak the language.
Well, they take the people. That's weasel words as well. What do they kidnap them? Take them? Do they kidnap them or do they offer them? There's a big difference there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe don't even have a passport. They have no way of surviving on their
Okay.
own.
No. No. If you're a pimp and you run a massage establishment, you're not going to waste your time with someone without a passport. I'm sorry, because it's just going to be such a fucking headache dealing with this,
Yes.
right? And the legal repercussions. Like, no. Citation needed.
You literally
Yes.
don't want any more legal troubles than you're already dealing with.
Yes.
So it's just
Yes.
like women of poor countries, they just naturally gravitate to the rich countries.
Yes.
That's all that's going on.
Yeah.
Or resisting, so they're kind of at the mercy of the people who brought them here. I'm sure that they probably get promised all kinds of things like, oh yeah, you get great wages, you'll probably do some cool, really comfortable work, and then it turns into you're actually a human trafficking victim. Like, there are some people who romanticize...
Cool story.
Yeah, like make believe
prostitution and claim that it should continue and that it isn't inherently exploitative. To debunk this
So
idea...
what about the countless prostitutes who are not immigrants and come from the first world? Right?
Yeah.
How does he explain that? So it's just again, yeah. So he says, even if this is what's happening, in which is probably not right in any great numbers, it still wouldn't mean you should outlaw prostitution. It's like
Yeah.
saying you should outlaw food.
Agriculture.
There's some food smugglers, right? Okay,
Yeah,
it's like the Soviet Union. It's like the Soviet Union says, "All right, there's gene smugglers in the black market. Let's ban clothes." Equivalent of that, but yeah.
Yeah, every industry has some criminality in it. Those are usually edge cases. This doesn't mean that the whole industry is evil or the practice itself is evil, like the prostitution practice itself.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's carry on.
I would recommend a very good article by a writer named Esperanza. I'll put it in the description. Then let's talk about women's marginalization from politics and society. Women's oppression is not just
right.
They're not marginalized from politics. They're more.
So they completely they dominate the NGO scene. Absolutely, the dominance of that is immense. They dominate the media. They dominate the legal system. They dominate education, but they're marginalized from politics. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool story.
Make believe.
Or ideological. It is mainly material and economic. It cannot be abolished.
So women are doing better than men economically, so it's not material. So what the fuck are you on about?
Changing the culture or changing terminology, as postmodernism alleges. Of course, changing the culture and whatnot would help, but it won't be sufficient. It requires changing the economic mode of production, requires overthrowing capitalism and building socialism and communism. That doesn't mean that
women will never build socialism or build communism. Damage the status, and women are hypergamous, right? They would vomit. They don't want to lose their bourgeoisie partners, husbands, and replace them with working class men in overalls. I'm sorry, like this is a fantasy land.
Yeah, it's like the communist woman is a pipe dream. It doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's like it's
Yeah, it shows that they don't understand human nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait for socialism. That doesn't mean that women shouldn't struggle for their rights. Currently, it just means that you can't reform capitalism to be non-oppressive, and it is also
All right.
idealist
So
to believe
the thing is, capitalism. You can't. Capitalism is not oppressing women. Okay, it's oppressing men. So this is just gibberish. Yeah, let's carry on.
that capitalist culture can be changed within capitalism because culture arises from the capitalist economic base. We can fight on the front of
No.
culture and
No. The base is shaped by humans, right? So it's shaped by the level of technological development and human psychology. It doesn't just spring from the base. Where does the base come from? It comes from human beings. It's human beings that build the base, right? Superstructure. The psychology is a massive component of superstructure base, right? Without the psychological component, it's actually meaningless. The theory.
Right. So yeah, this is the general problem with Marxism, is the blank slate theory. They think every culture stuff and history and economics just comes out of culture, history, and economics, which leads to an infinite regress. Where the fuck did culture and stuff, where does it come from? He says, oh, it comes from a historical development of capitalism. But where does this come from then? Right? It has to come from evolved human nature at some point, right? You have to look at evolved traits that develop over millions of years. Otherwise, your theory of human nature doesn't make any sense. You're just going back to circular nonsense.
Yes. Let's carry on.
we should fight on the front of culture too, but capitalism automatically always creates capitalist culture. Small changes.
No, hypergamy creates capitalist culture. Hypergamy. So in the Soviet Union, there wasn't any capitalism, right? And why did the Soviet Union break down? Well, there were many reasons, but one reason was that it was betrayed from within. There were high-ranking officials who wanted capitalism because they wanted higher status, right? Why did they want to have that? Because of female hypergamy. Male-on-male competition to get status is because of female hypergamy. And female hypergamy is something that is outside of those economic systems. It is the foundation, actually, right? Because it came before that.
Yes. And the thing is, the high Soviet officials had the bourgeoisie wives as well in behavior, like ballerinas and very high-ranking females, luxurious lifestyle. Like Gorbachev has a model granddaughter, right? A ballerina, actually. I think it's a ballerina. Yeah, they got all artists and potential. So yeah, it's bourgeoisie. Women are inherently bourgeoisie and hypergamous.
Yeah,
so
if
they
Marx,
like luxury, they like luxury lifestyles. They like extracting labour from the male particips, right? Women are the gender bourgeoisie. It's not it's not a metaphor when I use that term. I mean it literally.
Yeah, I mean, if Marxists don't understand hypergamy and also don't understand that female hypergamy is actually something that evolved and that isn't just due to culture or the environment, then they can never create communism. That is a fact.
Yes.
Because capitalism will just reappear over and over and over again.
Do happen, and we should fight for progressive reforms, but in the struggle for reforms, the most important part is that the struggle elevates the class consciousness of the struggling masses themselves and organizes them
This is
for
gibberish. So feminist theory is completely incompatible with working class consciousness, right?
Yeah.
You might as well be a national socialist. You say we're gonna attain Marxism by supporting the Nazis because they both got socialism in the name. It's incoherent. It's completely incompatible on so many different levels. You're not even analysing reality correctly. Finnish Bolshevik. Like,
struggle.
you might as well waffle on about UFOs oppressed by lizard aliens who secretly pretending to be billionaires or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For power, for the conquest of power, the struggle to overthrow capitalism. On this topic, Stalin said, quote, "To a revolutionary, the main thing is revolutionary work and not reforms. To him, reforms are a byproduct of revolution. That is why, with revolutionary tactics under the conditions of bourgeois rule, reforms are naturally transformed into an instrument for strengthening the revolution, into a strong point for the further development
What has this
of the
to
revolutionary
do with the topic now?
He's trying to sell communism, that's why. It's a non sequitur. And didn't Stalin ban abortions?
I think so.
Yes, he did. I know he did. It's a rhetorical question. Just wanting you to answer yes, he banned abortions. So he banned abortions, yeah. So he must be a misogynist then, according to you, Finnish Bolshevik, right? If you're going to be consistent. Okay. So
Yes.
probably Stalin was probably an incel. That's why he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
movement. The revolutionary will accept a reform in order to use it as an aid in combining legal work with illegal work, to intensify under its cover the illegal work for the revolutionary preparation for the masses for the overthrow of the bourgeoisie, unquote.
Cool story. Cool. Like women are going to do this for you. Okay. Like you padded as feminists, you alienate the male working class from your movements, drive them to the right wing, right? See how far that gets you, Finnish Bolshevik. Because like Marxism is more marginalised than ever when you think about it. So is that a dead end?
I don't understand how Marxists aren't just humiliated with their own failure to just connect to. Yeah.
This is why I made the video. This is why I made the video. The pro-male movement needs to replace Marxism. We need to be the new workers' movement.
We need to throw Marxism into the dustbin of history. To be honest, so the thing is, I do agree with Marxist analysis on imperialism on a broader level. I think that should be one of the core tenets of analysis. But a lot of the other stuff can just be rejected out of hand, right?
Yeah.
So it's garbage. Like I will listen to like a Marxist YouTube programs on analysis on imperialism and geopolitics because there's a lot of useful stuff there, right? And I mean, there's some stuff on class consciousness as well. But a lot of the other stuff I can just discard. So
yeah.
Becomes blatant when we look at their participation in politics. Despite facing generally worse conditions than men, women seemingly fight less for their rights. What do I mean by that?
Okay. So that's two lies in one. So women have worse conditions than men, even though they're out. Shall we look at the life expectancy gap then? Let's look at the life expectancy gap.
Yes, let's see that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Life expectancy.
Can you zoom in, please?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go. Yes. So white women are at the top. Black women are the second, yellow. Right.
Yes.
White men are below black women, but they're quite significantly behind white women. Right.
Yes.
And black men are at the bottom. So that proves two things. Right. Okay. One, female privilege trumps racial privilege. Two, black men are suffering the most, and they're suffering the most because of black women. This has to be done. It's black women who control the family unit and raise black men, right? So this has a large part to do with them suffering. It's black women doing this to black men.
Yes.
Inclusion, a racist, white supremacist society in America.
Yes.
Female supremacists, yes.
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 Black men have it worse. They're just compounded by the women who, exploit them.
So what's my bad eyesight? What the most latest year, 2014.
2014.
What are the actual numbers? What are the actual numbers on the graph for each race?
Okay, so
viewers.
Here we go. White women live to 81. So
yes.
Black women live to 79. Then you have white men live to 77. And then you have black men, they live to 72.
Right, that's a 10-year gap between the top and bottom. That's very significant.
Yes.
And despite all this, women still get the vast majority of gender-specific healthcare funding from the government, which is funded by the male taxpayer, by the way.
Yes.
Like this is the story that people don't want to hear, and it doesn't get told.
So, any sociologist, any other grouping, any other context, they said the group that outlives the group that doesn't they said a group that if they said one group that outlives another group, well, the group that outlives was the one that was oppressed, they'll get laughed at by sociologists. But when it comes to feminism, this is taken at face value. Like this is perverted, polluted science by feminists. Feminists
Yes.
ruin everything. Correct. I do think soft social sciences have an important function, but they're absolutely ruined by feminists. Absolutely wrecked.
I
Yeah.
also want to debunk a quick excuse that usually comes up when they see graphs like this. They say, "Oh, men, because of patriarchal stereotypes and toxic masculinity, they go less to the doctor." Here are two problems with this. Number one, it's actually very difficult for a working man to get a doctor's appointment, right?
Mhm.
That shows you that men are actually working more than women because they have more difficulty to get a doctor's appointment. And number two, those stereotypes or those gender roles of stoicism are pushed onto men by women. Okay.
Men get shamed into their emotions ruthlessly. Like if men bring up their concerns, right, or show any distress, they get ripped to shreds. Quite often by feminists,
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay. Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
okay.
That their participation in various organizations and political parties is more rare than that of men. Most members of most parties
So
are
what?
men. Most politicians
So
Yeah. So
what?
that's not
They're
due
just
to
less
discrimination.
interested. Yeah, they're just less. Are women less interested in politics than men? This answer seems to be yes.
Yeah.
So
So
naturally, they're less interested. Yes, it debugs. So this is female supremacy. So women have got innate less interest, but they're meant to be equal amount of members in politics. Like what? like
he debunked his own talking point. Actually,
yeah,
he
lack of
doesn't even
self-awareness.
realize it.
Yes,
yes.
Jesus.
I probably argue that women are brainwashed by the patriarchy to be not interested in politics or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
are men. Women are pushed out of political organizing. This happens through a number of
What?
mechanisms.
Women
Women are
gatekeep the political positions.
What?
There's a Green Party. There's a Green Party. The Green Party is all over the Western world. They got policies that if a woman speaks, men are meant to shut up and let women speak over them. Right?
Yeah. Like he said literally that women are pushed out of political organizing. Does he know how
Yes.
many feminist organizations exist? Like thousands, probably millions around the world.
Yes.
Right? Both at the local and at the like international level. Like the UN itself. UN women, for God's sakes. Jesus fucking Christ, what is this guy smoking?
All you hear about in politics is women. Give women stuff, give women better positions in life. It's like more.
That female member of House of Lords was a member of the Green Party. She called for a male-only curfew. You fucking fuck. I've got to careful myself. You silly Billy. Finish Bolshevik.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you Humpty Dumpty.
Yes. Hell. Oh my god.
Ugh.
I really hate you, Finnish Bolshevik. I think you did call me an incel. You pillock.
He's calling the men's rights movement incels with his video.
But he called me an incel. Yeah, but he called me an incel personally in his comment section years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's contemptible. Yeah, he's like just contemptible nutter.
Let's carry on. We're dragging this out.
Housework and have less time for politics. Taking care of children makes politics.
So okay, this is so the sort of people who enter politics are going to be at least upper middle class, right? They're not doing housework. They're not trapped by housework. Housework's easy anyway. Okay, there's that. Okay. Housework doesn't stop you doing politics. It doesn't stop you doing politics. Men work more than women. If work stops anyone doing politics, it's more likely to be men. You fucking nutcase. You're literally, if you believe anything you're saying, you're a nutcase. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, and also
Catherine the Great, did she step down from being a monarch because she had to do housework or something? It says, "Oh, I'd love to rule the nation of Russia, but I've got to retire. I've got dusting to do." But Jesus Christ. You muppet. You're a muppet. You're a plonker.
Yes.
And also, like, women are the vast majority in universities, and usually when you get into politics, you do it over university type connections, actually. So
Yes.
this
So that's why women taking over universities is actually very important. Like, you get all these like right wing males coping and says, "Oh, who cares? It's a wasted degree. And we're just going to enter the vocational fields like engineer, like we're going to do like physical labour or something or whatever, right? Or engineering or construction." So, but women taking over universities is very important. They get to control the levers of power in society.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's not education is not just about getting better jobs. It's about your connections to the
It's
state, the elite.
Yes.
Yes.
Or look at something like collective shout, right? Like
Yes.
they push for online verification, and now it gets implemented everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, what is he talking about? Women don't have political organization. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Difficult. If you have to carry a baby around, imagine how much more difficult it is to do political struggle. Like, it's not even
What?
demonstrating.
You
Imagine
have to carry a button. So you fucking fuck. Okay. So like, babies are only worse. First of all, women are not breeding at replacement rates. Lots of women are childless. And the ones who are, they only have one or two babies, and babies are only babies for years. Okay, they're not tied down to the babies at all times. They've probably got relatives to help them. They're bourgeoisie women entering politics. They can hire a fucking nanny. You well, they're just like working class men are not entering politics. Yeah, it's bourgeoisie men, right?
You Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, sorry. You are the biggest muppet I've ever replied to. I've hold you because you should know better. That's what really annoys me. You're not some like random dumb right winger, right? You are sort of dumb, but you've got like a political education. You've got like a philosophy and a worldview that's superior to the right wing worldview. But you betray it by such hypocrisy.
Like,
So it makes you worse than any right winger. Actually, you're a traitor to your own cause. You don't even realise it.
you have no excuse, Bolshevik, to drop the ball this hard on men's issues.
Right, let's go. Let's go.
how dangerous it would be if the police is like shooting at you with water cannons or rubber bullets and you have your child with you. Women face
What? That's complete. So he's talking about party politics, right? And then he jumps to like police with water cannons shooting babies. First of all, women have actually turned up at protest pregnant, right, and bringing their kids, which is very reckless, right? Okay. What?
I've got videos.
Why are we talking about protests? Violent protests are not part of the British political process. What the hell are you on about? What are you on about? Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Fine.
discrimination and hostile treatment within organizations, and throughout their lives,
Oh my
women
God.
are told that they should focus on the household or more quote-unquote womanly things.
Yeah.
So this results in them being more
Go to hell,
marginalized.
you liar.
Reactionary propaganda takes the fact that women are marginalized and pushed out of politics and social activities, and once again they turn.
Yeah.
No, did you want to say no? I just want to say no. Then sorry. This is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
it around, and the reactionaries then claim that this actually proves that women are supposedly biologically and inherently less political, less intelligent.
No one says this in the mainstream. No one says this in the mainstream, in right wing press or the left wing. No one says this.
No.
Only a few not mentally ill tradcons.
Yes.
No one says this. No one says this. What the hell are you on about? You're so delusional.
The tradcons you find in the manosphere, they don't represent society at large. They don't represent men at large.
Let's move on. Let's just move on. Sorry.
Reactionaries always have excuses and supposed explanations for anything. Anything that happens, you point out some kind of systemic form of oppression.
Projection. Pause. I want to point something out. This projection. So when a male was getting domestically, he didn't take it seriously. He made excuses.
Yeah.
It's a patriarchy. So he's projecting. Let's carry on.
They say, no, this actually just proves that group of people, they're just inferior. You say poor people
No. Women are not judged by male standards. When women don't perform to the same level as men, they're not judged at all. They're still innately valued. You're not comparing like to like. Okay, and no one says that anyway. So carry on.
imprisoned more than rich people. They say, oh yeah, poor people, they're just barbarians. You say poor people have
Okay,
less education.
pause. So what gender is in prison more? It's men. Okay, so why don't you bring that up? You pathological liar. So women are in prison less than men, but they're still somehow the oppressive class. Carry on.
They
The
say,
oppressed
oh,
class, I
poor
mean.
people are just stupider. They say poor countries have all these problems. They say, yeah, those people, they're just inferior. Same with this. You say,
It's like saying men have all these problems. That's just proof men are inferior. If women have problems,
He's equating two different things that have nothing to do with each other. So excuses made for imperialism and marginalisation of ethnic groups, and he's saying that women are talked about like that, which is complete horse shit.
Yeah,
So his analogy is complete garbage.
I never heard anyone say this about women. And when it comes to women in politics, they're not being pushed out. They're actually favored in politics.
Women in parliament can call for, in parliamentary democracy systems, can call for a male-only curfew. If women have been marginalised by patriarchy, they'll be driven out. They said that.
yes.
Yeah, and I mean, like we had a chancellor in Germany, Angela Merkel, for 10 years. Okay,
Yes.
10 years. You want to tell me women are marginalized by the patriarchy? Really?
Yeah, but she's an agent of the patriarchy, don't you know? She's got Stockholm syndrome and she's like passing patriarchal laws. Like, yeah, what if?
Yeah.
women have less.
The Melanie draft in Germany that's going to come up. That's patriarchy too. Don't you know that? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no evidence for whatever thing Finnish Bolshevik is claiming.
All right, can I just, I know we're nearly finished. Does he say anything else important in the rest of the video? Or is it just more bullshit like this? Is there anything particularly we need to see?
I'm not sure. Let's just watch it. I haven't seen it.
Right, it's 4 more
Torture.
minutes left.
All right, let's finish it. Oh my god.
Access to this, or women do less this. They just say, oh, that's not oppression. It's just because women are inferior. Of course, there's no proof
No,
for
they
it.
don't.
No.
Okay, the thing is, what you do as well, right? If women don't enter the same field as much as men, you say, oh, that's evidence of women being held back. But when women enter another field more than men, you're silent on it, right? Okay, like more women in higher education than men, okay? So that proves your hypocrisy right there. So that means you're a malicious, disingenuous piece of dog crap, okay?
Yeah.
But they're biased to believe it, so it sounds convincing to them. But people should also re-examine their own biases. The countless female revolutionaries
Good. I agree with you there, Finnish Bolshevik. You need to examine your biases. Good.
of history are ignored or treated as mere exceptions. Sometimes their image is co-opted. Capitalists pat themselves on the back saying, isn't it good that capitalism allowed such female activists to emerge and achieve improvements for women? It actually proves that capitalism works. But in reality, these activists fought against capitalism and were always opposed by capitalists.
No.
Horse
Do
shit.
this. I'm not letting you do this. Most female protests are pro-capitalist. They're part of the capitalist system. So, like, most female protesters are not Marxists. They're feminists. Okay, so you can shove that lie up your ass, right there.
I'm new
Yeah, I mean,
female
the most capitalist countries are also the most feminist, right?
Mhm.
Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
activists and revolutionaries emerge. They are repressed and opposed by the
Sorry, can I just? I want to use an analogy. You know, this sort of reminds me in a lot of ways. Do you know, right wingers, especially in America, they claim like America's communist,
Yes.
right? American inclined, it's run by communists. It's a bit like that. This narrative here. So, oh yeah, you know, the most feminist society to ever exist is somehow not feminist at all. It's run by a patriarchy. Like you've got to be legitimately mentally ill to spew this gibberish.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 130 feminist organizations supporting Amber Heard. But I guess they are
Yes.
not the real feminists, right?
Yeah.
No,
They've got no power.
yeah,
They've got no influence. Yes.
no, yeah,
This ruling class. The same people who oppose them now, once they're dead, those same people turn around and say, oh yeah, they were a very good person and we fully supported them and all that they wanted to achieve, we've already now achieved it. So let's just forget about it.
Yeah.
Let's turn them into a...
So prominent men's rights activists get ignored and forgotten or slandered, right?
Yeah.
So let's carry on.
symbol of how great capitalism is, but that's it. And this doesn't happen only on this topic. It can happen in various fields. This is very off topic, but I'll just give an example, like how Russia treats Stalin as a nationalist figure. They want to forget the politics. Oh yeah, forget about his politics. Let's just co-opt him as the face of national military greatness. So they're very versatile in these kinds of propaganda methods of basically brainwashing and just deception. Capitalism has very highly developed methods of deception. There is a class divide within women and within men. Most men and most women are workers, but some men and some women are...
Women are not the working class in the same way men are.
no,
Basically, most female jobs are hobbies. To be honest, women are taking over like white collar work as well. So women are the gender bourgeoisie.
yes,
All right, let's carry on.
capitalists. It's not men versus women, it's workers versus capitalists. Capitalists
Pause.
want...
So it's not men, but they do this disingenuous shit a lot. Oh, it's not men versus women who are above it. And that he's just done a long spiel attacking men and defaming them with false female victimhood narratives. The entire
Yeah.
video, right? It's okay. It's so fucking two-faced.
Yeah, I mean, patriarchy means men are at fault. So he's creating a men versus women narrative. So he's a total hypocrite. And women are actually attacking men systematically with feminism. The Me Too movement is one example. Okay.
Yes.
So that is against men's interest, right? Parental alienation is done mostly by women against fathers.
Yeah.
So there is a class divide between men and women.
Yes.
So
yes,
bourgeois women, capitalist women, to lead the women's movement, to turn it into a non-revolutionary direction, and they want to present only capitalist women as great fighters for equality, when usually it's the bourgeois female leaders who are tools for oppressing majority of women who are workers. Finland's previous prime minister was a woman. Her government increased austerity.
She was feminist. Yeah, she was a feminist, and the feminist government refused to get rid of the male-only draft.
in Finland, yeah, and
Yes.
Finland joins NATO now.
Yes, it's going to probably end up in a war with Russia.
Yes,
Good luck with that, Finland. Yes. You're on thin ice there. Yeah, sorry, it's a bad joke.
pun intended. Yes.
Yeah.
Has a negative impact on women. That same government increased militarism, which increases the risk of war, which also harms women who are in the civilian population.
Okay,
and also,
pause.
Yeah.
So, does he mention the male-only draft? Has he mentioned the male-only draft? He's not going to, is he?
No, this is absolutely disgusting and wild what he's now saying. So, war, the vast majority of victims of war are men. So it's going to be men who are mostly victimized by this. Now, you might be saying women are also victims of war. That is true to some extent, but it is. But women are usually like they can flee. Like in the UK, not the UK, the Ukraine, where we see women fleeing the country and they're being allowed to, while men are forcibly kept there, right? So, and when it comes to austerity, right? I mean, yes, austerity harms everyone, but especially men, because it lowers men's wages, right?
Yeah.
And rolling back the welfare state, men also need the welfare state, right? So they're more harmed by being unemployed. Men are more harmed by being unemployed, low status. They're more driven to isolation and suicide. So, I mean, Marxists always do this. They always make this false dichotomy. Oh, there's like this this fake bourgeois feminism, but there's like this good Marxist feminism.
Yeah. No true Scotsman fallacy yet again.
Yeah. Like, even the so-called Marxist feminism, quote unquote, have in common that they demonize men. So
Yes. They're actually some of the worst feminists are Marxist feminists. They're absolute scum. Shall we carry on?
Yes.
Get this.
They're
Wait,
children
Yes.
who will grow up and be sent into the imperialist slaughter. That being
Yeah, I like it. I like how he uses the gender neutral children, right, instead of men. Yeah, you're a low life Finnish Bolshevik. You're actually a bourgeois reactionary imperialist bootleg, as far as I'm concerned. Let's carry on.
said, as Lenin taught, communists do support improvements to women's rights even when they are pushed by some liberal capitalists, as happens in some exceptional cases. Let's
So
say
that
when
means that no. Liberal capitalists pushing more rights of women is very common. If the Marxists support that, that means they're sellout cowards. They're opportunists, actually. Then, if they do that, that's opportunism in the Marxist sense. So let's carry on.
So next topic I see.
Good.
Poland.
This is base. This is base. Good.
Yeah.
Stop the baby murder.
Yes.
See, again, if you're against abortion, and if you're for abortion, Finnish Bolshevik, why don't you criticize Stalin then?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
coward. Yes, you're not being consistent.
Right.
Banned abortion, or in the US when this discussion is happening. There are some liberal bourgeois who support abortion rights. We agree with them, even though they are bourgeois.
You're scum then. You're scum. Anyone who supports abortion is scum. You're scum. Like, it's weird that it's not weird. There's this strong stigma against paedophiles, which is understandable because abusing children is abhorrent, right? Sexually, it's abhorrent. But it's completely normal, stigmatized to want to like kill the unborn, the most helpless of the most helpless. This is, and like women not being allowed to do it is somehow oppression. You're a low life Finnish Bolshevik. You're a low life.
Yes.
it shows you that he hasn't really done any thought into the issue of abortion. He's just like, oh, it agrees with women's rights, so I just blindly follow it. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
like he wouldn't even like. I could easily destroy him in an abortion debate. Like,
Yes.
he can.
Abortion is eugenics.
Yeah.
Abortion, as Override said, one of the early proponents of abortion were using racist stereotypes against Indians, like they were overbreeding and stuff like that. So abortion has links to eugenics. It's a reactionary, anti-human, anti-life, and it's female sadism and gatekeeping as well. That's all.
Yeah.
Shield. Shall we look at your community posts again on your section about
No, let's carry on.
There's nothing on abortion really. Like,
All right.
abortion is just.
All right, let's just.
Abortion
We
is
got to
just-
talk about Finnish Bolsheviks' naughty behaviour on Discord. Remember?
So- Are we playing? All right, are we playing more of this video?
Let's finish. We're near at the end, so we might as well finish it. Come on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say that we are neutral on the subject, since there's conservative bourgeois on one side and then some liberal bourgeois on the other side. Of course, they have their own reasons. The capitalists are not the same as workers. Lenin said that Bolsheviks, quote, systematically advocated an alliance between the working class and the peasantry against the liberal bourgeoisie and Tsardom.
Yeah, so he doesn't continue going into the topic of abortion. So he basically, by implication, says that restricting abortion is oppression of women, which is bullshit.
Yes.
Restricting murder, baby murder, is not oppression of women. So
Yes.
he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's advocating for something very unethical.
Yes.
Never, however, refusing to support the bourgeoisie against Tsardom, unquote. So, when capitalists opposed feudal absolutism, they were correct, and the Bolsheviks agreed with them. But at the same time, the Bolsheviks tried to organize the workers and peasants against the capitalists, instead of just following the capitalists. There's some people who say that we should just vote for the lesser evil or whatnot. Vote for the capitalist candidate that we see as a lesser evil. But that's not what Lenin was saying. Lenin also said, quote, while rendering support to all representatives of the bourgeoisie in the fight for political freedom, the workers should remember that the propertied classes can only be their allies for a time, that the interest of the workers and capitalists cannot be reconciled, unquote. So in that case, against the Tsar, there were some capitalists who wanted bourgeois democracy instead of feudal absolutism, and the Bolsheviks agreed with them, and some capitalists who wanted, for example, to put an end to oppression of racial minorities, and the Bolsheviks, of course, agreed with them. But at the same time, the interest of the workers and capitalists cannot be reconciled. So we can agree with them on something, some exceptional thing, but predominantly we are against capitalists because the fundamental capitalist interest and the fundamental working class interest are irreconcilable. In the future, I'll return to this topic. I'll discuss it in more detail.
You will always have capitalism if you don't address female hypergamy. That is,
Yeah, they're not going to. These people are hopeless, unfortunately. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Does he say any more?
Consider this
No,
video.
I think that it's only got 30 seconds. Let's end it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this is the end now. So, right.
Let's now that post about Finnish Bolshevik's naughty little role play and his girlfriend.
All right. So
because we want to Finnish Bolshevik supports feminism and he supports misandry against these class interests as a man, right? So let me read this. So Finnish Bolshevik. This is quite a long time ago. It's been around for a long. Finnish Bolshevik. Okay. He had an online girlfriend who was 16 years old, right? And he did some sex chats with her, right? And I think he did some sex chats with someone else as well. And there were screen caps, and there was some weird, secret police role play that he was doing. Okay, it was very strange, but whatever. But it shows it was being stalked. But anyway, let's read this.
okay.
On the Finnish Bolshevik question. So as many as you know, information has come out regarding inappropriate behaviour between Marxist Leninist YouTuber, Finnish Bolshevik, someone whose content I legitimately enjoy, and a 60-year-old American girl by the name of Kennedy. The backstory is that these two had a relationship many had objections to, considering Kennedy's age, i.e., they're jealous. And I think he was probably in his 20s when this happening. They're probably jealous that a young man has got a cute teenage online girlfriend. That's why. Which said, because the age of consent is 16 in Finland, by the way, which subsequently ended months back. However, it seems appropriate behaviour continued after the relationship had ended. Let's carry on. Now, I was introduced to this a couple of months ago by a friend named Matt, and we actually tried to organise an intervention to present Finnish Bolshevik with a dilemma to end all. It's actually an ultimatum, with an ultimatum to end all ties of this relationship, or else we would go public with it. So it says, so you got to teach a cute teenage girlfriend, and we don't like you as a man having that, so you got to end it. But we also don't want to be embarrassed, so we're going to give you a chance to end it quietly. We tried to get Jason whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Unreal, involved with this. However, he said the relationship had already ended, and so he thought there was nothing to worry about. However, we are now, or an anonymous. However, here we are now, and an anonymous person on Twitter is leaking the information. So it's probably the girlfriend is leaking it, I think, but I don't know for sure. And it's circulated around, even reaching anti-historical revisionist YouTube denying history. This is exactly what me and Matt feared. That this information would go public, spread around, and then be used by opponents to discredit the community at large. Carry on, scroll down.
Yeah.
So he sought to deal with it internally before an external scandal. Some apologists have claimed that this is a plot by ID poll wreckers. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know why these Marxists use the term ID poll when they do feminist identity politics, right? ID poll wreckers and working classes as an identity as well. ID poll wreckers and red liberals to attack Marxist Leninists. Me and Max spoke to the people running the account and we confirmed this is not the case. However, let's suppose for a moment there really was a big conspiracy and say it was ID pollers, Jews, reptilians, capitalists, FBI, CIA, or even the moderators. Does it even matter? The reality is that Finnish Bolshevik was engaging in inappropriate behaviour, and this is something we must move to denounce and not make apology. Now, Finnish Bolshevik has already apologised. It doesn't seem very regrets. He probably regrets that he lost contact with her or something when he broke up. Although time will tell. I'm not saying we ostracise him. I, for one, accept his apology. Scroll down. However, I'll make it clear that he must be very careful in the future and to take responsibility for his actions and face the backlash that is going to come. Now, regarding the context of what happened, regardless of anyway, I just want to add something before I carry on, in case I forget. The screen caps were shown everywhere, and he was being mocked and jeered and attacked and called a pedo for it. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Now, regarding the context of what happened, regardless of anyone's thoughts on their weird Holodomor NKVD Gulag rape fantasy, right? Do you know what? Having being tied up with BDSM by a Maoist Chinese woman and whips is quite hot, actually. But anyway, I think that isn't the biggest issue. It could even just be chalked up to shit posting. Okay, if he's doing if he's doing role play, that's not shit posting or whatever. Who cares? Although due to the sexual nature of it and because of the fact that it was done with a minor, that's weasel words. 16 is the age of consent, so it's not a minor, right? Or even so, yeah, whatever. They always use that weasel word.
Yes.
It really pisses me off.
Yes.
Okay, with a minor, it's either legal, it's not. If it's legal, even I think it crosses the line there. Finnish Bolshevik and Kennedy were also engaged in public sexting events. Another degeneracy. Degeneracy is a far right term. So, as I was saying, Mark missed right wingers. Degeneracy, but also C. Kennedy even inviting some to experience a show of public promiscuity and degeneracy. This 16-year-old girl sounds like she was having fun. So she's been free with her sexuality. She's got all choices to do what she wants. Right?
Yes.
Now, the problem regarding... And again, this proves status as well. He's a prominent YouTuber in the Marxist community. He gets all the female attention. Now, the problem regarding Kennedy's age is obvious. Scroll down. I wouldn't necessarily class it under paedophilia. Well, it's not because she's not prepubescent, and I'm not about to use a hebephilia argument. I do think it was simply an honest mistake, and I see no predatory behaviour here. Finnish Bolshevik. If it was a political enemy and someone on his side, he would. Right? He would call it. If it was a capitalist, right, flirting with a 16-year-old girl, bourgeoisie capitalist CEO, he'll go berserk over it and call it exploitation, right?
Yes.
I do think it's an honest mistake, and I see no predatory behaviour here on the part of Finnish Bolshevik. Another thing to consider is the age of consent is 16 in Finland. It should not be lower, and it should not be higher, right? Okay. However, in the United States, where Kennedy lives, there's something Finnish Bolsheviks should be considered before. But the core issue here does not extend beyond the age difference. All of such behaviour is completely undisciplined, and no one tolerates such open acts of sexual promiscuity. So yeah, so they're sexual reactionaries. Such actions are degenerate. Degenerate, so again, a Nazi term, especially taking into account the latest Marxist Hoxtonist debacle, who's previous to the paedophilia would openly share nudity with. I have no idea about these accusations, so I'm not going to comment on them one way or the other, right? But based on statistics, it's probably bullshit. Unless he's shown interacting with prepubescent children online and trying to groom them for encounters, it's not paedophilia. The problem is the left is dealing with all these instances is a lack of discipline. Like, the problem is there's been too many cases of like men flirting with girls online with 17-year-old girls, and they're called paedophiles. The problem is the left is dealing with all these instances is a lack of discipline, and all over the leftist circles, open section promiscuity is being tolerated. Everyone from posting lewd images to outright pornography, because that's part of the human condition. People love this stuff. If we are to avoid another one of these debacles, we must combat this. And so I end with this simple plea: purge all degeneracy, even if it means purging the degenerates themselves. Okay.
It's a none too subtle death threat at the end.
Yes. Threat to violence, yes. They'll probably go, oh no, we just mean purging them from the party, but it's a form of violence.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned. So Finnish Bolshevik, this is what you're going to get under feminism, but you deserve it anyway. Well, yeah, I've said what I've got to say.
You know, Bolshevik, you shill for the feminists in their narratives. Like, this is what you get. You get the feminist cancellation upon you.
Yes.
Men will never learn, even if they experience this themselves, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're done then. Oh,
Yeah.
will we end it here then?
Yeah, it's just Finnish Bolshevik is just painful to listen to. So
Yeah. That was like that. I've lost brain cells
yeah,
actually. So
Yeah. I
oh
mean, this guy's just dumb as hell. And he
yes.
doesn't understand how feminism is actually capitalistic and how female hypergamy is actually capitalistic. Like
Yeah.
the
Yes.
class interest of the wives who is getting paid and maintained by the husband is fundamentally different from the husband's class interest.
Before we finish, I want to analyze bourgeoisie behaviour, how the bourgeoisie works. So rich women were kept in luxury. They could always leave their husbands and get provided for, even in a medieval area, right? Okay. It was the man. If the man was rich enough, it was always she wouldn't be a housewife. She'd be the head of the household, but she wouldn't do any housework. The servants would do it. She'd be kept in luxury. She'd be in pampered costumes, expensive fashion, right? Expensive clothes. She was innately valuable. Okay. The 10-year doctrines came along, right? It hyped the British Empire's power, right? It handed control of the female family unit to the female, to the woman. Okay. They like big houses, they like cars, fashion, they like jewelry, they like status signaling, right? And female bourgeoisie are very exclusionary and very exclusive and very smooth and plump and luxurious, right? They work less, they get others to do their work, they're privileged. That is hypergamy in action.
yes,
Yeah.
So that's female nature. I'm done. I'm not going to say anything more. I want to end this.
Does capitalism oppress women? No, it doesn't.
Mm.
You have nothing to back your claim up except you just parrot feminist falsehoods that we just spent the past 3.5 hours debunking. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's end it. End it.
Yeah. All right.
Women create capitalism and men suffer under it.
Right.
Yes.
So this was a Pro Male Podcast, episode 1. Signing out. Thank you all. Good night.